dealings with the Indian, and many parts of the record are stained with the greed and avarice of those who have thought only of their own profit. There are some dark pages in the history of the white man's dealings with the Indian, and many parts of the record are stained with the greed and avarice of those who have thought only of their own profit.
Wake up!
Yo, GM, hello everyone. Hi, how are you doing? Welcome to the final reveal. Hi guys.
How you doing,
Hello,
Locust?
and BM, Milady Zombera Jane. We have today with us Han or Han. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm glad you are here.
So glad to be here. I've been a very active watcher, so really weird to be on the podium right now.
Those who follow the stream already know you. You were contributing a lot with your astrological knowledge. So we are very happy to have you here. And until the final reveal, which will happen in around 40 minutes, we can chat a little bit about the astrological side of Mibera. And yeah, I'm very excited to have you here. First of all, maybe you can introduce yourself and how did you join crypto? How did you join Bera chain and Mibera? That would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I do I'm actually part of a company building in stealth at the moment, but I do some really very kosher, very what do you call it, button up stuff and on the more corporate side of crypto, but as my day job. But I have a religious studies background. I spent a lot of time reading and writing, and Mibera just seemed to hit all those checkpoints. Like it seemed like such a full project that had so much more depth to it, so much more meaning to it. I just wasn't expecting it. Like when you see things like, you know, I was part of Bear Baddies and I saw the other Bear Chain stuff. All of it was great. All of it was cute. The culture was fantastic. But from you don't really expect this level of depth from like something that comes out of like Bong Bears, right? And what's the one that where they're high? The Yeetards? Am I thinking about that one right?
Yeah, that's the irony.
Pardon?
You talk about me. No, the collection, the Yeetards.
Yeah, the Yeetards. And so that's why I'm like that's why I was really familiar with. But Mibera just seems so much more than that. I read the documents. I was just really blown away by it. And every time I think I reached the point where, like, Johnny can't surprise me anymore, or Mibera can't surprise me anymore, the culture just extends. The community is just so invested. The people who are core there who are truly part of the core are just so in it and so invested in it. I can't believe the level of depth. And looking at the astrology, I have to think that, like, is Johnny an astrologer himself? Because it's kind of crazy if you go into the chart. I know that sounds a little woo. I know that sounds super like wild, but a lot of
No.
what Johnny talks about, yeah, you're right. No, it's not that wild. But a lot of what Johnny talks about is just fully just baked into the chart. So I really can't wait to get into it.
I don't know how Jenny is doing that, but he's for me he seems like be a wizard or something, some kind of magical guy. I don't know, in every depth, every level, every aspect. He's, I don't know, he's a much higher IQ level, and at the same time he's also left curve. So I love that. I found home at Mibera and Berachain. But how did you get onboarded to Berachain? When was the first time you heard about Berachain?
Honestly, I heard about Berachain like maybe a few weeks before the minting even started, because as a part of Bear Baddies, you get like a lot of like you get, fortunately for me, you get a lot of whitelists as a part of Bear Baddies. And so I had the whitelist. I'm like, okay, why not? Like, this is, I know about my ladies, why not just mint the Mibera? It might be worth something. But then as I started following Jenny's tweets and seeing all of the documents on astrology and how it goes into tarot and how it goes into like all the psychedelics, I was just like, oh shit, is this how people get on board in NFT culture? Like, I think this is the first NFT culture that I finally, like, took the pill over, drank the Kool-Aid for.
Yeah, definitely. And how was your way to astrology? Because you seem to be an expert. So you said you're working as a scientist or a data scientist?
No, I just do regular marketing stuff in a corporate way.
Okay.
But I did religious studies back in university, back in college, and came out of that as a copywriter.
So you're based in the US?
Canada.
Canada. Okay.
Yeah, Canada. And so astrology, like, I thought of astrology as like what the ancients used to do to make a sense of the world. But when you go deeper into astrology, because that's what I studied when I did my religious studies, and astrology seemed like another attachment to that, and that was cool, whatever. But then when you read the historical text of Vedius Valens or Dorotheus, they knew their stuff, and they talk their shit, And so I was just, when you fall into it and you continue to see the patterns, because like that's what astrology is. It's like planetary, universal pattern recognition. And so when you see that, like, oh, every time Saturn is in this kind of configuration every 12 years and it hits Jupiter at this point, something happens. For example, every time there's a Venus-Neptune conjunction, there's always like a new psychedelic that's been introduced into the world. So these things, like, it's just uncanny. It's the level that, for example, when Trump was shot in the ear, Mars, the planet of violence, was in the ear of Medusa. So I don't know, these coincidences, which is a population, these coincidences are just, I'm forced to believe in it, if that makes sense. Like, it's out of my control.
I have two quotes or two things I have to say about that. One thing is always comes into my mind that there's a quote about astrology that says, like, millionaires do not believe in astrology, but billionaires do.
Yes.
And yeah, that makes me always like jiggling. So because that might be true. There's also this, I heard a podcast and that they said, if you were sitting down with millionaires, everyone is wearing watches like Rolex and all the crazy expensive stuff. But if you sit with billionaires, they're wearing like Apple watches, so they don't really care, and they have really a different mindset. And the other thing is, astrology is something very, very ancient, something very old, which people always used to believe and used to use for help, for as a help, as a guide. So yeah, maybe nowadays or in the last 20, 30 years, it became something like, yeah, not that serious, and there are a lot of fake people who are misleading and they do misbehaviors with that. So the image of astrology is worse, got worse over time. Astrology comes from Egypt, yeah. So that was one thing which fascinated me about Mibera too, that there was also a layer, a spiritual layer, something. We had all our Mibera journey, and like you described, these all little coincidences. And during our Mibera journey, how many coincidences did we have? So yeah, I don't believe in coincidences, and I don't know how much is that calculated, and how much is that planned, and how much is that really just the universe playing a game with us. But I'm very open-minded to these kind of stuff, and yeah, we will do now. We are going a level deeper. So I have a tweet from you, but maybe before we jump in, one thing to say: Jenny will join us later. So the reveal will happen in 35 minutes. Jenny will join us in time, and we need to be ready, because I think at 8 or 4:20 Eastern time, there will be, I don't know what will happen, but it will be huge. So we should be ready for that. But then, how are you? Are you also open-minded about spiritual and astrological stuff?
You know, Mokus, when it comes to astrology, man, so I'm a Capricorn, and honestly, man, I feel like we're pretty much shit on all the time when it comes to like anything astrology based, right? So I'm also a bit of a scientist. So I like astrology, especially, you know, my buddy Migs, man, he'll talk my ear off, and he'll go on these long tangents and just pair all these things together, and I eat it up. I love it. But I don't know anything about it, man. Like it is the most foreign topic to me. When we're talking about this, I mean, Hand dropped a good like amount of text into that group chat, and I read that thing 10 times, Mokus, 10 times. And I understood it as much the first time as I did the 10th time. Zero. I understood organic chemistry better than what was written. So I have never been so lost in anything in my crypto journey as much as it has been related to astrology. But I really like it. I enjoy it. And, you know, it's very interesting to me at a very minimal specific kind of degree. Anything beyond that, I love how it can get paired together. I love how like people can say, you know, oh, it makes sense because of X, Y, and Z. It's very much a qualitative thing. And I very much deal in quantitative things. So I know that I lack in that area. So I try as much as possible to entertain it, kind of keep an open mind about it. But also realize that I am so lost, just so lost. Like I have to go, Migs, help, whenever this stuff comes up.
Yeah, me too. So I don't know rising, and I know the 12 signs, but I have no idea. I know maybe a little bit how they are characteristically, But what this all means with the planets and the constellations, I don't know a lot about that. But here we have Han, and she can help us. The other thing is, which came into my mind, does someone remember when FTX happened? FTX was like the 8th of November 2022. And I know Maren. She is an astrologic trader, but she was also popular on TikTok and on YouTube. So she made a video. I was following her, and she made a video on November 1, 2, like a week before, and she said, I know exactly the same, the exact definition. She said, expect the unexpected, because big things will happen negatively. And she was shorting, and then FTX happened in the next few days. So it was like crazy. And yeah, some people believe in it, some people don't. But yeah. Yeah. So what should we do? Should we do a reading?
Okay, Mogus. I'm going to ask, okay, how depressed were you this year?
Depressed?
How introspective did you feel this year?
Well, the year was like a roller coaster, because it started very, very well. It mainly was influenced by the crypto prices, yeah. because I'm so fixated to that. But yeah, I would say it started well, but now it was worse. I think the worst was in April, just like the crypto prices, and now it's getting a bit better.
Well, I know that's weird. It's very cliche to say, but there are astrological reasons for that. And the reason why I ask about how your year has been is because there's been like maybe some things about your network of friends. Maybe you've been feeling a bit more introverted and a bit more quiet than usual this time around. I can also see that maybe as your sense of creativity might, your idea of creativity might be a little bit changed, and there's like, I can see why. But the thing is, you can look forward to certain things like by next 2 weeks, some fun things will happen for you. I think because Jupiter will enter your first house of Cancer, and that's a time for you to really work on your personal branding, and you'll be more well known. You might eat a lot and have a lot of like good times and really indulge in luxury. So that's what I'm seeing for you here. And what else can I say based on this part? I don't know if any of this resonates for you. I hope it does, because I hope it does, because I'll look like a scammer if it doesn't, but we'll see.
No. So I have to admit something. I made a reading, or better said, I made a reading. I think it was 1 year ago or 1.5 years ago. And she then said that 2024 would be okay, but the best part will be at end of 2025. For me, that's only for me. I don't know how and what she read, but she said that. Yeah, so I'm very excited about about that. Not only what will happen in the future and what will. Yeah, that's exciting too. But how these things work and why do they work like that? That's the kind of thing which fascinates me. And you made a tweet. Maybe I can show that, and maybe you can elaborate the Mibera chart or the Mibera reading. What do we see here?
Okay, so do we want to talk about the Mibera future, or do we want to talk about what Mibera is about just based on this chart? Because this chart is really, really crazy, and I have a whole thing about that. But if we're talking about the future, what I'm going to say about this is that expect June to be kind of good for Mibera. June will be very, very good for Mibera. But 2026 January, super hot. I would say hold at least until then. January of 2026. Pardon?
So till January 2026.
That is when, like, I would say that the prices, because there's a lot of things about like recognition here. There's a lot of things about ease and stability here, and things that like support it will very much be in its case. By 2026 summer, that's when someone is going. That's when it's going to go mainstream. It's going to be very, very hard to get it, and it's going to become a massive signal booster, if that makes sense. That's when those are dates that I'm seeing right now, just for this.
We have 420 viewers.
Oh, lucky us. Oh my gosh.
I looked at it and it was like 420. Yeah, what has maybe that was the Jester universe. So what has meme math to do with astrology? Do you also see these 420, 69 kind of numbers here, or on your Mibera journey? Did you touched on that?
I don't know about 420, but there's like I don't know about 420, but like 420 is just a really, if you guys want to see what's really crazy, is the chart that happened on 420 and why it happened all the way it did. It really appeared that like Gianni chose those dates astrologically speaking as well, but I can get into that later.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So you made a reading. This is for Mibera.
Mm-hmm.
What we see here. So what was, for a reading, you need the birth date and you know also the birthplace.
Yes. This is something that I was whispered to by the angels that be, the voices. So I say that vaguely, but I swear someone actually told me this.
Okay. So, but now it's maybe a strange question, but would you consider yourself also sensitive?
Would I consider myself sensitive? I would not. Usually, I wouldn't admit that out loud, but because we're among friends, occasionally, sometimes I wish I wasn't right, because I feel like I should be locked up in an insane asylum, but I can tend to be right. Are you?
Not. No, I mean in the sense of you have like a sixth sense, so like feeling things, like anticipating things. Something will happen. You know when someone died, you feel that. So do you have some things like this?
Yes, this is something that would get me burned at the stake for 500 years ago, but I would say so. But but I swear, like I did spend 2 years as a genetics major, so I swear I'm not anti-science at all. It's just a matter of like things have just continued to prove myself in this direction.
So can you share a bit more? So what was an example where you thought, okay, this is something more?
This is something more. Oh gosh, I just know that like I knew things like when my mother got sick, for example, when I was traveling. I was like living in another country in Europe for a year, and I just knew my mother got sick. And so when I flew home, I found out that my family was hiding it from me, for example. So things like that. That was really crazy. Another thing was that I kind of like, one time I got laid off, but I wasn't stressed out about it. And then an hour later, I got a job interview, and it's the current job I have now.
Mm-hmm.
So these type of things just feel like, it feels like the universe is like winking back at you.
Yeah. Sometimes I have this feeling too. I shared that. I think it was the first Mibera stream or the second one where I was like, what am I doing here? It was so strange because I never thought that I would speak here in English and have Jenny, some kind of big guy, speaking to me, and we will talk about Mibera and so stuff. So it was so crazy to me. Why me? Why am I here? And then Jenny gave me the answer. Yeah, it's maybe it's like purpose or maybe something else, but it is what it is. Here we are, and yeah, it's always like that. You won't find out if it's a coincidence or on purpose, or is it faith, or is it just like it is what it is. So what do we know about Mibera? So what do you see astrological about Mirella? Not Mibera, not for the future, but this far. How's the road been so far?
Thank you so much for like no, I loved what you said about like, you know, Johnny inviting you to speak about this. Like I honestly, I did when I first watched your stream before I followed you on Twitter, and I just couldn't believe that you didn't have like 5-figure, 6-figure number of followers, because you seemed so professional about it. I couldn't figure about it at all. You have a great way of like handling your guests and delegating to each speaker. So like Johnny said,
thanks for that.
Of course. So with regards to the chart, I really wrestled with how to best talk about this, because I could talk about the planets and talk about like things like horary astrology. I could talk about electional timing, but that might go over people's heads. So if anyone does have questions, please let me know. I love talking about this sort of thing, but I think for the sake of time, and I want to make sure that this lines up with the 220 unveiling, that we should start with a story. So Mibera did its first reveal on April 20th, which is also Easter. So the metaphor is there. There's the whole Passion of Christ story, other myths of resurrected gods like Dionysus and Balder, and so forth. But there's also like a story that goes back even further to like Babylon, to Sumer, which is the cradle of civilization, to Inanna and Eresh. I hope this is compelling. And so I didn't make this connection until I was given the birth data to Mibera and realized that the vision of Mibera came to Jani and possessed Jani during the Leo Venus retrograde in the summer of 2023. So if you see, if you look at the 11th house, you see Venus there has a small RX next to it, and that means retrograde.
This one.
Venus, yes, Venus is going backwards. So this is really important to note. Mibera has a Libra rising chart, which means like that's the constellation that was going over the eastern horizon at the time of your birth. And so that's basically the ship of your life. And then there's something called a chart ruler. A chart ruler is like the captain of that ship. And because Libra is ruled by Venus, Venus is very important here. So the fact that, you know, it has a Libra rising chart and it has a Venus retrograde in it, really crazy stuff. So I will talk about this later, but I'm going to go back to the Venus retrograde part before I talk about things like, you know, the Leo sun, the Mercury, Mars, and Virgo, the Gemini moon. But going back to the Venus retrograde before you have a question at all.
Yeah, and I just want to point out that we are noobs here, so we don't know what Venus stands for, what Libra stands for. So maybe you can elaborate more so that we also understand what this crazy means. So yeah, and what all these signs means, and what the houses are. And so basically for beginners, what does that mean, or what do you see about the Mibera chart?
Right. I was gonna go end that at the end, but you know what? This might be more compelling for people to sink their teeth into later. So Libra is the sign of balance, of justice, of beauty, of the laws, of the rules, of structure, and also of art and expression of beauty and all these other things. So, and then Venus is also beauty. Venus is also justice. It's also money. And so these two connection just really hits when it comes to an art project. The 11th house is house of network and community and reaching to far networks, if that makes sense. It means like people and transcending beyond time and power that comes with talking to a lot of people. So every house,
amazing.
I know, and it seems so divinely created. Like every house means something. So let's say the bottom half of the chart from 1 to 6 is like who you are as a person, versus 7 to 12, which is the top half of the chart, is how you relate to others. So if we were to look at Mibera by itself is someone who already cares about people so much, it doesn't stand alone. It will never stand alone. Like Mibera is not a chart that's like that depends on like one like tyrannical leader, right? Like Jani has set up Mibera in a way that it can survive without Jani. And that's like the point of this chart here, that this is like the chart of like the masses, the chart of like of honor, of like radical approaches to like value, death, intimacy, and power. But there's also like questions about creating art that's both glorious and wounded, and creating art that challenges norms and reclaims cultural space, and all these things about transgressive beauty, like things that are ugly that eventually become beautiful, if that makes sense.
Wow. So we had that with the first reveal.
Ah.
We had the fake reveal. It was, in my opinion, it was ugly, and then now it became beautiful. I have to say, I'm a bit personal here. When I first saw the Mibera art, so this this is what is behind me. So the actual Mibera art, I didn't find that appealing to me. And then it was the fake reveal, and then it came the real reveal, and I started to see the beauty, and I liked it more and more. And when Jenny showed me the one-of-ones, I was blown away. I said, that's so beautiful, because these were like real one-of-ones made by hand and artistically very nice. And it was, for me, it was like a process. So first, it was okay, but it was not that appealing to me. But with time, it became like, I see the beauty in it. So it's also interesting.
Oh, you have it
The
framed in the
one-of-ones are
back.
beautiful. Yeah.
I
How was
didn't realize you have it. You have your Mibera framed.
Oh no, it's like a digital frame, so I can change that always. And
cool.
this one is which I made on the Honey Road. So for myself, yeah. Until I have my real Mibera fully unrevealed.
Ah, so excited for that. Okay, we have
Yeah. I hope for a one-of-one, but it's. I think everybody hopes for a one-of-one. We have Mix with us. Hello, Mix.
Hello, Mocus. What did I miss, man?
You?
As we started a little early this time, I had a conflict, but I am here now. What did I miss?
Yeah, we started earlier today because there is a lot of stuff we can touch on first until the reveal, which starts in 14 minutes. Han is with us today. I think you know her already, and she introduced herself and made like a reading for Mibera. Very, very exciting things. But I think later on she will tell more about the Mibera astrological part. But yeah, as like a little teaser, what we can expect. Mix, are you into astrology? Do you believe in that? Oh, I love that stuff.
I suppose you could ask my esteemed colleague Den. I am a avid believer. I actually took a couple courses on it years ago. I'm a big zodiac guy. Both the if you want to say American version, but also the Chinese zodiac. They do it a little bit differently, right? They do animals as opposed to, well, I guess you could say the American zodiac, it does animals as well, but I'm pretty big into both of them. So yes, I enjoy this aspect of Mibera probably way more than most.
Yeah. So if you see that I don't know how you call that, this wheel, you can interpret some things. You can read that.
So to be clear, when I look into it, and all the books that I've read and the courses I've stuff is more been about the psychological component, like what drives behavior, specifically temperament, mood, all that sort of stuff, as opposed to actually reading of the charts. I am an absolute novice at best at that. I just prefer to, when I learn, what you are, your moon, sun, rising, all that sort of stuff. It's given me some insights into, everything is, of course, there's always one-offs in my experience. There's always things that don't line up or things that don't really make sense that, oh, hey, like I told Den before, I'm a Scorpio, and a very good friend of mine his brother was also a Scorpio, but exhibited 0 signs. Absolutely a disgrace of a Scorpio.
Oh my goodness.
An absolute disgrace. Like literally nothing at all that you would imagine from the Scorpio behavior. And ironically, his best friend had the exact same birthday as I did. And of course, he was almost like a spitting image of me, like 2 years younger. I mean, exact same traits, exact same, just everything to the T. So I've come across people in my life where it just doesn't make any sense at all. Like literally not one component. So I've seen that, but I would say in all my travels all over the world and just learning about people and getting to know them, I would say it's at least 85% accurate, which is what's made me such an avid believer. So I'm pretty deep in it.
Nice to hear that. We were talking about the Mibera journey, and maybe I would be very interested what you see as an from the astrology aspect. Which interesting things are related to astrology from the Mibera perspective?
Well, if you follow it, Mokus, it adds that extra level of imbuing the Mibera with personhood. I mean, it really gives you an opportunity to understand the depth of a character. If that sort of stuff is something that resonates with you. If not, then of course it makes it very difficult for you to understand a personality or what this might mean. But if you're into it and you understand that, oh yeah, if you're like, for instance, me, I'm also a Scorpio sun with a Virgo moon and a Pisces rising. So for me, if I had a Mibera like that, I would understand a lot of what they're feeling during certain moments, right? Or how they would respond in certain situations.
Crazy.
So for me, I can really resonate with that. And I'm chasing one in particular. I'm chasing a certain setup because of those reasons. So for a person like myself, it makes it so much more personal because it really gives you an insight into what this Mibera is and who she is and how, you can imagine she would be if she were in front of you and speaking with you about, hey, how did your day go today? Or, how was your mom or dad? Or what's your belief on, whatever. So these sort of things for me, it's personal. So I like that. I think it makes it that much more enriching as a collection for me, as opposed to just, an NFT. So for me, man, it really adds that extra context because, again, it's something that I believe in. And in addition, not only do I believe in it, I've run into people throughout my life that we've discussed it in depth and kind of, looked at other individuals and their behaviors and their traits and in an effort to understand them. Because oftentimes, we'll have conflicting opinions about stuff. Maybe you like hamburgers and I like hot dogs, or, maybe, you prefer to go outdoors and I prefer to be more indoors. These sort of things. And when you start looking into, well, what makes you tick? Like, why do you like the outdoors so much? Or why do I like, being indoors? There could be many things, right? It could be nothing at all. But if you look at the stars and you look at the charts and you start to gauge behavior and you look at individual traits and you see, well, wait a minute, like that really matches up. Like it's almost in some certain circumstances, it's too much for it to be coincidence. But like I said, often there are some times where it doesn't line up at all and it doesn't explain things. But for me, like I said, the majority of the time it does. So when I look at the Mibera collection and I look at those little symbols in the right-hand corner, they mean way more to me, and I vibe with it probably more than most. So I'm really excited about it, man. It's something that I really enjoy.
Very nice. So Enya is also here with us. Hello, Enya.
Hello.
We are talking about astrology, and Han gave us a lot of perspectives, and she will share a lot more later. We will have our reveal in 7 minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready. If you have some funds, watch out for the listed Miberas ones, because they could be more rare than people think. I have a random Mibera here, so maybe for the noobs, Han or Mix, could you tell which which signs are here and how do we interpret them? How would we characterize this Mibera based on these overlays?
So that's a Virgo rising with a Aries sun and a Libra moon. So the Libra moon would be in the second house. This is a very money oriented. This is a Mibera that feels comfortable, that feels the most emotionally comfortable when they have lots of money and lots of nice things around them. With the sun being as it is, okay, so Libra, sun, air, so Virgo rising perfection house. I'm trying to figure out what house that would be here. So a Aries would be in the 8th house. This is the 8th house of money and debt. So this is a person who like probably would be an excellent sugar baby, if that makes sense. Excellent sugar baby, probably a very meticulous stay-at-home girlfriend and loves comfort. Oh, this is a girl who likes nice things.
Crazy. So you have you not only have a unique Mibera, but you have a Mibera with personality based on astrology. So good.
That's my kind of Mibera right there. That's my kind of Mibera. Is she single? Is she dating?
Oh my God, where's she doing?
So you want to be the sugar daddy?
I've been called much worse, Mo. I've been called much worse.
Let's go. So yeah, we have 5 minutes to go. Yeah, Jenny will join us later. I'm getting very excited.
Do you want me to read your Miberas, like give you your Mibera personality really quickly, or
yeah, of course. I have to switch to the other tab. That was also a point of discussion. So would you rather have a Mibera which is by destiny, which you minted and by chance, or would you have one which you buy on the floor? So I'm the person who said I want a random one. I want my faith. I want my minted one to let her be how she is, and I will love her. And yeah, I really love her. So that's one which I minted.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Okay. I see a Leo rising, this is a Leo rising, a Capricorn moon with a Capricorn sun. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is a 7th and 8th house. 8th house. This is okay. This one is, if the other one was a good stay-at-home girlfriend and that like she loves to clean and she loves to tidy things up really, really well in her natural place.
That's my lady.
That's the other lady. This lady is she loves attention. She loves to be called pretty. She loves to be treated really well. This is also, you guys all have sugar baby signs. This is the 8th situation going on here, where these are like money placements, if that makes sense. So if Leo is the 1st house, Capricorn would be the 8th house, and Capricorn as an 8th house situation, that's the house of other people's money. So if you have more plants in 8th house, that's like a sugar baby situation.
Sugar baby. Hello, sugar baby.
We just can't get away from it, Mokus. There's just no escaping it.
It's our destiny, so we can't escape.
There's no escaping it, my friend. Just accept it.
Let's go. Maybe 1, 2 from the audience. So number 595, and then we will have the reveal. Oh no, we have to go to the collection. Oh, I hear the pop, so it's not Jenny, it's Baby Bera. Hello, Baby Bera.
Yo.
Glad to have you here. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Fine, thanks you. Thanks. Very excited.
Same. Hey, I sent you some stuff. I DM'd you on Twitter.
Okay.
That'll be for later.
Okay. So not in the group chat, but in the should I open it now or
No. I think
Okay.
wait, I spoke to Janny a couple days ago, and I'm putting together some stuff that we can sort of premiere on this stream, but a little bit later. Just want to make sure you're able to download it and all that. I got something else that I got the devs working on, and I should have that over to you any minute now.
Hopefully you're not rugging me here live on stream.
Yeah, I sent you a drainer link, so just go ahead and no,
I will find you, baby Bera. I will find you. Yeah, we're searching for this number 595. Which one is that? So let's do another 5677. With the free numbers, it's a bit difficult. So we have 1 minute to go.
Okay, so we got the Taurus rising, a Gemini moon, and an Aries. Okay, so this is the person who is this is a Mibera that is honestly on the shy side, but they are willing to pretend to be extroverted for the sake of getting power. This is a Mibera who is secretly probably a homebody, but this is a Mibera that will be manipulated for power.
Okay, so and the last one from Den, it's 5985.
5985. Okay.
Oh, that's a beauty.
I know she's a baddie. Oh my gosh. So 5. So we got a Capricorn rising. So this is someone who probably has really, really big calves because they rule the calves. We have a Gemini moon in the 6th house, which is mentally agile. So in the 6th house is service. So this is a person who is probably living 2 lives. This is a person who is a CEO by the day, but wants to run away, become a monk by night, which is very, very what we're seeing right now. 12th house means like we want to disappear. So 20. Oh, it's 220. Holy shit.
I think reveal happened.
Oh my gosh.
Because it appeared. Oh, it broke. Huh?
What's happening?
Did you see that?
I didn't. What's happening, guys?
Okay, so let's go. Happy Mibera, guys. Happy
What
Mibera.
happened?
Happy Revelation Day.
Did we get dragged?
Now, Magic Aiden just froze. Somebody with 1 of 1?
No.
Scream if you have a 1 of 1. I would love to see that. No results. Okay, thank you, Magic Eden. Maybe we switch to OpenSea.
Damn.
You had your chance. Okay. Searching. Okay, we have the items. That was the last part. We have a Jenny item here for 100 barras. I want to see the 1 of 1s. Oh man, I'm so excited.
Who the hell got it?
Can you see one yet? I don't know.
All right, who sniped it? Someone listed it. I think it was a 101. It got sniped before. All right, who did it? They put it up for 444 Bera, and it was ready to be bought, sir. And someone sniped it. Man, y'all are good. Y'all are good.
We have also Kigus here. Very nice. Oh, this one. I love this one. Oh, just scrolling through. Maybe bit more down.
Oh wow, there's one funny one with the big drum.
A Jenny one.
Oh, that's fun. This one's crazy. 8026 is kind of crazy. It has a drum. It's covering the whole Mibera.
8026.
Check out the.
Yeah. Looks like a cheese, a Swiss cheese.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. GG to the sniper.
Mix, did you remember the number of the 101?
No, I just saw it go upside. I was just trying to buy it. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I'm not even, to be sure, honestly, I'm not sure if it was a 101. It looked like it. Its face was like all like, it looked like almost it was gas or something. It was really, I was like, whoa, what is this thing? And it was like 444 Mibera. Yeah. So if you look at the last sale for 444, you'd probably be able to see it.
Oh yeah, true.
Activity.
Maximum. Better.
17 minutes ago. That no.
Maybe they delisted it, Migs.
Damn.
Yeah.
Show us
Because I
one
don't
of
see it in the sales.
Maybe the viewers got 101s.
Now, what did you guys get?
Ah, hello, Eileen.
Jesus.
You got the 101.
No. Just waiting.
Sorry, we were like amazed by the review.
Oh my god.
We are searching for 101s. Hello, Eileen. How are you?
Good. Holy shit, there's 366 items? What?
So the items are rare too. I think these Bong Bears ones are like each item is a 101. So this is like where do I find it? Item Bond Bear number 2. So there are like Bond Bears, I don't know, 60, 80 or 100. And this is number 2. So that's one of a kind. It's not a real 101, but it's one of a kind. Mix, how about your swag score?
I'm trying to go through them all right now, Mo, because I'm a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah, so much.
No, I let you do it.
Oh, there was such a sick one. 5805. It's a.
Here is one with
Joker.
the pudgy.
Joker.
With the pudgy item.
Wow.
Oh man.
And with what's the name? Drimilia for 500 Mibera. I'm gonna drop in the chat.
Whoa, with the mod glasses and the pudgy one. Nice.
Check this out. It has Joker face.
Swag score is available on Magic Eden. I don't think so. Swag score is different.
It looks like it is just updated Mochas for swag score. I did see it. I did see it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, time has come. Our big wizard, Janitor, is here. Welcome, Jenny.
Hello.
Hello. How are you, Jenny? Congratulations.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh my
Hello.
God, I missed your voice.
Hello.
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 Are you going to rug us again?
Hello.
Do this for like 10 minutes. Then he'll be.
Hey folks, how are you? Good to hear you.
I missed you, Jenny. How are you?
Look, I'm really good. How are you?
I'm nervous. Very excited. Oh, here is a knee job for 91. A knee job. Oh. Congratulations, first of all. And happy to have you here again. We are going through the collection now. Everyone is searching for the one-of-ones.
Well,
haven't seen one.
Well, so, are you ready?
No.
Man.
Is this some shit like, okay, it already exists, but you have to go somewhere to go get it, and then we don't know what it is, and you don't know what it is.
Here's the thing, okay? I'm about to rug you.
Surprise.
But I also, before we get to the rug, let's talk about the house. And so what have I missed in the last 54 minutes? What have we spoken about?
We spoke about astrology. We have Han with us today, and we asked her how she was introduced to Mibera and what she's doing with astrology. And we had also this zodiac sign which she described, but we didn't get too much into the details. So yeah, why are you asking?
I just, you know, just to try to not repeat things. So I guess before we get to the rug, let's talk about the skeleton of the house. Let's talk about the warehouse that we're in that maybe has been abandoned at certain points. Like, what have we built together? So can you pull up a screen, and can we go to Twitter, and can we go to the Mibera account? Because I think I enjoy going back to the beginning of things, so we can figure out when was the first post, and we can also look at. So if you go if you search. I'm not going to make you scroll all the way back. We'll do it quicker. So what's the date it was created?
420.
Was it November 20? What year?
You mean the first one?
Yeah. It's hang on Twitter up next 23. To the honey in 23. Okay, so if you go to the search bar and if you search for Mibera Maker 333, and if you press enter, and then if we're going to do a time-bound search, so if you just up at the top by the three dots next to the search query, let's go to advanced search. Now if you go down, if you constrain the search to the time around when the account was created, I believe it was November 2023, maybe a month either side we can. So October 2023 to December 2023. This kind of limits the amount of scroll back that we need. And the purpose of this exercise is to remind us that actually the journey to where we are now started quite a long time ago. And there's the number of us have grown significantly. So if you go to latest tab, so not top, yeah, and then just scroll back to the beginning. I actually don't. I'm doing it live with you. I didn't rehearse any of this. I kind of roughly knew some of the stuff that I wanted to convey.
I think that's the first one.
Sure. Yeah. So look, this was when. Yeah. Here we go. So like,
Jenny, we spoke about our Mibera journey. That's there. It's like astrology. A lot of things happened, and we didn't know if it was a coincidence or it was planned or it was designed. And it's the same with astrology. But now I am Hungarian, and the first tweet you pull up, it's the name Soros, who was a Hungarian one. These little coincidences, which makes you feel, okay, is this a coincidence? Was this designed? Jester universe? We don't really know. We will never find out.
Yeah. What's your way of understanding these types of small synchronicities and this type of thing? Do you have like a story you tell, or you just feel it somatically and kind of laugh with the universe as it happens?
Yeah, exactly. I just enjoy it because I came to the conclusion I will never understand that. And then I just laugh about it. I just enjoy it. These little signs that there is more than we know, and I just enjoy it.
So I'm somewhat in a similar camp to you, but then because I'm a mischief maker and enjoy chaos, I like to see if it's possible to contribute to conditions which increase the frequency velocity, veracity, ferociousness, ferocity of these types of instances happening. And it's a feeling that I've felt at other times in my life. One of the examples is putting on free parties, raves, and getting into flow states with things. And it was the feeling from those zones is that oftentimes you'd have these weird synchronicities, you'd have strangers of consequence turning up at the right time, you'd have a conversation over a shared cigarette that was the exact right conversation you needed to have for some type of shift you needed in perspective on your life or something else going on. And the question really for me has always just been like, I like feeling in those flows of things. And so what can we do to encourage more of it? And Mibera in many ways is simply a practice of lots of people paying attention to this thing and doing things together. And it's been, I think that at its root is really the rave spirit. Fuck crypto, real rave shit is lots of people doing lots of small things towards some type of shared aim is one of the ways in which you can kind of increase these, what was it? Soros? How did you say it in Hungarian?
You say with Soros.
Soros, emergencies. And so, look, I've been away for 2 weeks. I was having a great time, but partially one of the reasons for this, it was very purposeful, is as you may have guessed or noticed, the timeline has been popping. Janny's been silent. No one knows where Janny is. Janny didn't declare what was happening or what was going on. And the timeline's been popping with people creating their own stuff. Mibera has escaped the nest. It's its own living force with like many hundreds of people very actively contributing to the culture. And stuff will only keep getting weirder the more of us that do this. And the reason Janny kind of took a step back is to say, okay, I'm a loudmouth. I've got a bunch of money so I can make stuff happen. But what happens when I take a complete step back? The party doesn't stop. The music doesn't stop. People find a means and a way. And this is the, I was commenting to the THJ contributors because I've been extremely busy in the work servers working on other stuff because that energy has to go somewhere. But I've been observing that what we're seeing with Mibera is actually the emergence of somewhat of a movement. And it's not always helpful to have like a pirate captain, loudmouth, big tree. It can be a blessing and a curse to have this kind of strongman figure that takes up so much space and mindshare. But one of the reasons for Janny stepping back is to show Mibera has grown beyond the need for any one super big figure. Actually, there's a lot of big figures in the Mibera scene, each of them kind of creating, let's say, a synchronicity engine around them and attracting people who vibe with their way of looking at things, whether it's Han with the astrological readings, whether it's Lana with the 100 days of memes, whether it's Anya with the kind of sick, kind of embodied, visceral videos or stuff coming back to rave movements, whether it's Baby, and all of the musics and parties and stuff, whether it's you, Mokus, kind of looking at this thing from your perspective, whether it's Eileen kind of taking the kind of cypherpunk view, and it's one that I certainly share, around kind of weirdos doing a thing because it's weird and fun and cool, and that attracts other people. And what we're really speaking about here is many concurrent value systems operating beyond just the number that you see on a screen, beyond just number go up or number go down, but that really value, like light run through a prism, there's many different wavelengths of value. And I think when you have humans who are operating from many different value wavelengths, pouring their attention, let's say, back into a prism or a focus of attention, Mibera, what you get out is this really weird synchronicity engine beam that many of us are experiencing. So that's a long spiel, and a long way of saying kind of if I have one purpose here, it's to remind all of us who are paying attention to this thing. There's been what, 7, 8, 9, 10 streams, often getting 600 plus, if not 1,000 plus concurrent viewers after the fact, after the first week, 1,000 plus across all of these things. The activity that you see on the timeline, if you search by Mibera and look at latest, is some of the most organic, creative, engaging, just genuinely playful, having fun content that you'll see in crypto right now / NFTs. And this has been building since when was that first post? However long, and we've gone through so many phases. That's all I'm really here to remind everyone of is that there's a, let's say, bifurcation going on, and it should be really clear from the timeline. You can see the people who get it and the people who don't yet get it, or the people who aren't going to get it are kind of similarly over in that camp. And really, the way that this has rolled out has really just given people an opportunity to find each other, like find the others, like maybe find others who are in crypto for more. No judgment, like a lot of us are here to try and get ahead financially, but that's not the only game in town. And I think the way that we've rolled Mibera out has really given space to players of many different types of games. I'm going to pause there to see if any of that resonates or if there's questions off the top of it. We could, for example, look into all of the articles. We could do a retrospective. Maybe we can do that in a different space, but I'm guessing everyone's really eager to be rugged. So maybe we can also skip to the rug. I don't know. You direct me how you want this to go down. I'm happy to listen and take your lead.
Yeah, I have to tell you one story because I think it was impactful for me. So the Mibera journey for me changed also me. What I mean is, if you remember the first stream, it was a bit far from me. That I resonate with raving and with like psychedelic and stuff like that. But it was the spiritual side, and it was the NFT and the depth which fascinated me. And along the journey, if you believe it or not, I shared that in our group chat. I started to listening to the music, and the first time, I'm 36 now, and the first time I really experienced this this trip which you mentioned, without any psychedelic things, only with the music. And it was a music which like trance and like Prodigy was named. I know this music back from my childhood, and I was afraid of this music. And now I don't know why I started to listen to it, and I become in a state where I dig then deeper into it. We don't have to discuss it, but without Mibera, I think I never had this experience, and I just wanted to share that because this was very meaningful to me, and Mibera made that happen. So yeah, we don't know how deep this level is, how much is coincidence, how much is really guided by the Jester universe, but yeah, for me it's really crazy and very, very impactful. Yeah, so we can move on.
Can I riff on this?
Guide me.
So let's imagine, bear with me. Thank you, everyone who's listening right now, those up on stage. Come on a wee journey with Gianni. We live in a universe where everyone can, tomorrow, with the click of Gianni's kind of Thanos thumb, I'll click, and everyone can use crypto very easily. Stuff like wallets, stuff like keeping your private keys safe. We don't need the skull and crossbones. Everyone interplanetary, they just get it. Not just humans, aliens as well. Okay, so in this let's say thought experiment, people arrive into crypto. What type of NFTs, what type of communities do they want to join? So this is an open question. There's no barriers to technologically or in terms of people's personal computer use. This is at least the way Gianni looks at it. Interesting to hear if others kind of agree or disagree, is that a lot of stuff in the NFT and or culture space has such specificity to internet cultures or to Web3 culture that it's still asking a lot of people to kind of understand the norms, whether it's Bored Apes, whether it's Milady, whether it's whatever, fill in the gap. The thing that we've tried to do a bit differently with Mibera is to be a bridge between worlds people already know and to pay tribute and pay homage to stuff like Milady, stuff that's very native to and let's say indigenous within the internet, to misuse that term in a particular sense. And that story that you just shared, Marcus, is actually not a mistake in a sense, in that within Mibera we've got 2,000 plus traits, of which 1,337 of them are in the collection. And each of those traits is in the collection for a meticulous reason that has been emerged either from deep research or the Jester universe has enforced it. And the purpose of this is that there's many more people in the world than there are in Web3 right now. And if we want to connect with more people and expand the pie, a really good way is traveling along lines of emotion or along lines of stuff that people remember from their childhood or stuff that people know generally from culture. And so each of the traits in the collection, many of them people will have, if they come across the story, will have an inroad to connecting with this thing. Like you can think of each trait as essentially a bit like a portal. And so the story that you just shared is really heartwarming. And I think it's the type of story that in and around Mibera, we're going to be seeing more and more and more of it as more of the story of this collection starts spreading by word of mouth or by posts or whatever. Of course, when you have this type of, let's say, architecture or conceptual framework, it of course marries with LLMs, AI perfectly, because if you think about large language models, they've consumed the internet. And all we've really done is now given, once we release the docs for Mibera, it's not just the technical docs on the way liquid backing works and all of the crypto stuff. It's also giving LLMs an API or an interface to connect the world of knowledge and the connective pathways and connective tissue through to wider culture, through to this living archive that is this kind of DNFT that we've spoken about. And a bit what I mean about that is there's, for example, one jacket in the collection. It's called, I believe, William Gibson or Casey or something. That jacket is the exact model. You can get it from, I believe, Buzz Ricksons, who creates replicas of American Air Force wear and did a collaboration with William Gibson. If you don't know who William Gibson is, he's a pretty fundamental science fiction author who influenced many of the early cryptographers in their conception of public-private key cryptography around this notion of true names. And if we understand where his influences for true names was, of course, it came from indigenous and Aboriginal cultures around the world through systems of animism. And we also have those referenced within the collection as well. And so not only can you buy this William Gibson times Buzz Rickson kind of collab, there's also a story, I believe it's pattern recognition, that Casey is in. So there's all of this deep lore around the sci-fi that informed the underpinnings of the technology that we use. This is one trait that I've just described to you. In summary, it goes much deeper. And so when we talk about having helped to facilitate some type of weird type of entity into existence, it's a bit, this is what I mean, because music, art, culture, it can move people. And what does it mean to move people? It means to shift perceptions, and perception shifted can alter entire family trees, like the sliding doors moment and this type of thing. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. It doesn't surprise to hear you, Marcus, share that story. And I think we're just going to hear more and more and more of these types of things of saying, Mibera changed me. I am my Mibera is me. I'm convinced of the fact everyone's going to have, who's into this, will want at least four Miberas, because one of them they will never want to sell. That's their Mibera. That's them. They identify with it. One's their moon bag, where they're going to hold on to it until complete irrational exuberance has kind of taken us through the stratosphere. And then the other two are kind of a bit more for like the active trading thing. And indeed, we've been running the data analysis on this. We're seeing the unique holders drop, but the number of people who have, let's say, between 2 to 4, 5 to 10, we're seeing a move from single holders to people kind of moving into the realm of people have multiples. And yes, as an NFT collection, this type of thing, I think we're going to see that a bit more. But yeah, I've spoken for too long, but that experience that you had, Marcus, that one is a bit not by accident. Not to say we knew you would. For example, the Prodigy hair is in the collection. I don't know if you've noticed that. So it was an influence. But yeah, it's a way of course, the Silk Road, Honey Road. There was 100,000 of us using the Silk Road back in the day. A lot of those people who would have been using the Silk Road back then, they're not necessarily in Web3. And so really we're looking at, you know, if we want to stop just PvPing with the same 10,000 people on the internet, we need to find means, mechanisms, ways that create emotional connections to stuff that people already love, that draws down on deep life experiences that people feel aligned with, and forge new paths. And really, that's Mibera. If I could like state its mission, is to connect with more people.
One thing which resonated me for the last couple of weeks is the intersection between AI and, which we were speaking about now, also spiritualism. So there was a podcast which were I listening to with Deepak Chopra, and he was basically saying that that it's most likely that we live in a simulation, and that basically nothing differentiates us between an AI and a human, because we could be possibly also be AIs or be zeros and ones. And yeah, we come to if you look at humanity, we have also in the Mibera collection, we go back to the ancient ones, and we have now these times in the 2020, 2030s, which AI will be, AGI will be a thing. And yeah, how does this impact our view of the whole world, of our existence? And this is a topic which is scary, but also very interesting. And with Mibera, we see a glimpse of it, and that's so exciting. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Same. Who else is here? We've got Anya, Enlo, Baby.
Everybody here.
How are you all?
Coolin'.
Waiting for Reg patiently, as always.
So we were rugged.
You are.
They are disappointed.
I can rug you now. There'll be, after this space, shortly after, I don't want to say exactly, within 12 hours, there'll be a document and some data files for those of you who want to crunch the numbers. We're open sourcing the way in which the one-of-ones are being distributed. 45 of them are distributed within their type. So, for example, the ones to do with astrology will be connected with their astrology. The ones to do with sun, water, moon, and these different types of things will go within them. We'll release all of the logic so it's completely transparent. And there will be one of one per day released along these lines of logics. In total, there will be 69 one of ones. So there will be some one of ones which are handled in a different way. So I'd like to tell you a story about the Jester universe. A person messaged Janny. By the way, the source of truth will be the article, so don't run away doing anything to do with money based on what I'm speaking now. The source of truth will be the article and the data. We'll release a GitHub repo where you can pull down all of the CSVs, those of you who have that skill set and want to crunch the numbers. So around the Boyko unlocks, someone reached out to Janny and said, hey, you should run some type of a campaign around the Boyko unlocks to get people to rotate into other things. And I was like, chill, that's a good idea. Let's do it. And he suggested to put up a reward of a Mibera times Steady Teddy times Bullers collab, like a let's say a special piece of art made that was a collaboration between those teams, like a not an honorary, but that type of thing. And so I saw that the person who suggested it, he happened to be the person who won the glitch bear during the honeycomb period. So for those of you who don't know, once the 16,420 honeycomb of THJ sold out, one of them fermented. And live on a Carnival of Chaos, this person came forward and was like, yo, fucking holy shit, I won the bong bear. It also happened to be this person's birthday. And that is the person who reached out to me. So I'm like, okay, I listened to this person because the universe has blessed him. He's a lucky person. This is a good idea. So I ran it by Gods, and Gods was like,
I got the mask on my Mibera while I was speaking.
You what?
I got the mask on my on one of my Miberas while I was speaking. Like it changed, you know what I mean? The metadata.
Which mask?
Like a Doom.
Huh?
Of Doom. Oh, no, what's the name?
The mask is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick.
Thanks.
RIP Doom legend. And so I then passed this to the team. It was very clear to a number of us. And then somewhere down the line, it was interpreted somewhere that the winners of this cub quest would receive a one of one Mibera, right? Somewhere. So unbeknownst to, let's say, the team, other than maybe the person who made the cub quest. So indeed, we then, this I believe is the Jester universe. There's just been so many points during this process where it's crystal clear to a number of people, but the understanding that they have is just like quite divergent. And so we've got someone out there who's won a one of one Mibera via a cub quest. We're going to honor that. We found a way of doing it. So there's going to be 3 one of ones. And actually, the Jester universe, we listen to you. So here's the solution that we came up with. One of the Mibera one of one is going to the person who won that cub quest. Well done, you won the lottery. The person who won the Steady Teddy, we're collaborating with the Steady Teddy team. They're going to create a Mibera one of one, and that's what you've won. And then the person who won the Bullers thing, we're working with the Bullers artist to create a Bullers inspired Mibera one of one, and you've also won the lottery. Well done. So that is the Jester universe kind of informing. We've taken it one further. We're going to collab. He hasn't 100% said yes, but it was like, so I won't mention it, or I probably just to put it out there, the artist Papa Bear, who created the Bong Bears collection, hopefully says yes. If not, I'll come back with my tail in between my legs and said it didn't come through. As well as a few other teams. So that is 3 more of the one-of-ones. Now, there's going to be a few one-of-ones where we actually don't leave it to the Jester Universe. We think the Jester Universe has told us to do this, so this is what we're going to do. There are some people out there who have been making Mibera memes very consistently. 2 of them will be getting a one-of-one. One of those is Lana Del Rey, for making 100 Mibera memes, 100 a day for the last 100 days. And the other is Den Hopium, who has been making memes since way back. Again, these people don't necessarily have the highest number of followers, but they've put the time in. Like, they've been out here Mibera raving. The next category of people who are getting one-of-ones, where again it's the Jester Universe, is a person called Migs, who has gone down full autism trail, and another one is called I believe Den Hopium, who never wins anything, so I guess he'll have to give his away. The next is a person called Mocus, who has been putting on a number of streams. I believe we're up to number 8, 9, or 10. I can't remember. Another is Eileen, who's been out there kind of speaking the word of this stuff. And am I forgetting? Oh, and then our resident astrologer, Han, is also getting one. So those, we are simply the messengers from the Jester Universe passing those through. The final number of one-of-ones, up to the total of 69, those will be distributed through a form of auction through the Honey Road, and 100% of the proceeds of those auctions will be going towards liquid backing. And the timescale for all of this is something in the region of, on average, 1 a day, maybe more. So that's the rug. Is, I know M20, I Love You Day, you felt like finally the build up, all of this foreplay was getting, we were going to have a release, and then Janny's come in being like, nope, we're going back into the cycle to some degree. And I'm sure I've got something slightly wrong, or maybe missed something. So the source of truth, just to clarify, will be the article that we release, which links out to the GitHub repo, where we open source how all of this is happening, so that you can see there's no funny business. And then we will also release, we're kind of tidying up the details for how the selection exactly happens, where it's random, so it's provably random. We will communicate that in the article as well, so that I don't mash it up. But I'm going to pause now. Hopefully that was... There are people who I haven't given a one-of-one because they work very closely with the THJ team, or they're in the THJ team. So if anyone hasn't received one, but they have made massive contributions, it's not that you've been forgotten, it's that we... this is a way of paying tribute to those folks who have been contributing to Mibera as if they were on the team, but they're not on the team, but they're connected. So this is our way of kind of giving back to the culture.
Jenny, I'm speechless. First of all,
hang on,
before you mention
do me a favor. Can you bring off the screen? I want to see your face. I made a mistake here, or I did. Maybe it was the Jester Universe giving you a wee bit of grace, because we will feed off your emotional reactions, given that you're on the screen. But hello.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm very, very emotionally touched. But first of all, I want to say, before you mentioned my name, I love that approach, because there were really people putting in the work with memes, with posts, and with everything, without the expectation of getting something back. And yeah, I always was a guy who felt very was very important. Justice is very important to me. So and I believe in like karma and stuff like that. So if you put in the love, or if you give love, you will receive love. And there are a lot of NFT collections where the founders promise everything, roadmaps and this and that, but it's really the first time where I see you truly reward those who deserve, and I'm not talking about myself, but yeah. And the second of all, so congrats to everyone who now received the one of one. Also, Mix is the perfect example. He was, I think, he had a lot of sleepless nights putting in the work. He liked that also, but he was enjoying it, and he was doing amazing work also with the Twitter Spaces, and he deserves that. I was rooting for him that he will get something because he was going after also the swag score, and yeah, he just deserved it. And also Lana Del Rey and all the people you mentioned. And yeah, for myself, thank you a lot. So I said it multiple times. It's an honor, and it's yeah, I feel very, very grateful now. Han, didn't you said before the stream something will happen? So, something positive. You asked me how I feel, and then you said it will change.
Yeah, this is supposed to be the year of building your brand, getting self recognition for who you are, and I think that this stream just really proved that.
Yeah, I'm overwhelmed. So thank you, thank you. Not only for the value for the one of one, but this appreciation, and to be part of this journey. I'm very, very grateful. Yeah, but I will pass around. How are you feeling, guys? Migs, maybe you want to say something, or you're still hunting after swag scores?
I'm beside myself. I'm beside myself. Oh my goodness! Thank you so much, Janny, for the generosity and the kind gesture. It really means a lot, and I'm humbled by it, honored to again just be here with you all. And again, obviously I've enjoyed every reveal that we've done, and just the process. And it obviously isn't over yet. I don't know that Mibera will ever be over in terms of the reveal. There's always going to be something I think that's gonna allow us to have some conversation. But yeah, I was, to your point, Mokus, I was doing a little shopping earlier.
I already thought that.
I was in fact guilty as charged, sir. But obviously, you have my full and undivided attention at this moment. But yeah, thank you to everyone on the stream, and Janny, thank you so much for the kind gesture. It really means a lot. Thank you.
There's more, and that is you folks are invited into the creative process for creating the one of one. It will be within the frameworks that we've set up to make sure it fits within the wider collection, but you will be able to participate in the creative process and have a say in the in the way it turns out in the sense. So that's the cherry on top, or you could say but who said hang on? Was that you, Eileen?
Yeah. So obviously we always have someone who didn't listen or misunderstood, but let's just crack that now. So Jason Bourne, I'm sure you're probably escaping something right now because you're Jason Bourne. Says, how are you happy with how this played out? One of ones were supposed to be revealed, not auctioned. Some of us stacked Miberas and kept adding in hopes of pulling a one of one. So basically, what Jenny has just mentioned is that outside of the 3 winners for the collab thingies and then some contributors, the rest of them are still going on. It's just going to be revealed day after day, I believe. And it's yeah, it's still happening. It's just that instead of having 42 one of ones now, there's like 69. or 65. I don't know. But yeah, that's this is a this is kind of like the problem, you know. I think.
Do you mean with people hallucinating? So for like people, a bit like, let's talk about AI. So, you know, there's a lot of content creators out there. To be honest with you, you can't tell the difference whether it's a human writing it or an AI. The key difference, but yes, this is my trick, is once you provide them with data, if it apologizes for getting it wrong, it's AI. If they don't apologize for getting it wrong, it's probably a person with an ego issue, to be honest with you. Like LLMs actually apologize once they concede, I hallucinated that, I'm sorry. But I don't know, what's your method, Eileen?
Well, basically, I just like, kind of similar, but like basically, I think that AIs are much more smarter in their response because they actually make it responsive to what the actual thing they're responding to, as opposed to like going off tangents and using past experiences and all kinds of shenanigans that has nothing to do with the actual fucking post. But yeah, that's kind of relevant to what you guys were talking about earlier. You know, sometimes I think that people just want to think like the world is against them all the time. And I don't know. I think it's going to be very, very difficult for anyone to do that.
I think on the flip side, like the bifurcation, right? So just to, as Eileen said, the original idea was there was 42. There was an understanding all 42 1-of-1s would reveal on M20. The rug is that reveal hasn't happened today. Those 42 will be released randomly into the collection within a set of logic that we are releasing transparently and openly. And the process is going to be made very transparent, so it's provably fair, because with cypherpunks, don't trust, verify. This is much more than you get from any other collection. But if you hear this and you immediately start fudding, it's maybe a mirror for you to say, what is going on for me that there's a collection making this much effort to be transparent, open, do things in a creative way, and I still am a hater, right? It's a useful mirror for you. But I don't want to spend too much time on the vocal minority who are like, I don't know what their deal is. I'm not going to project on them. What I've seen over the last few weeks of Janny being absent, I read everything. I've been on the timeline. I've been looking. I haven't been liking. I've been extremely active on, you can check with the THJ team. We've been incredibly industrious on the second wave of stuff, but we read and process everything, right? And the vast majority of people who are active are generative, positive. You're creating your own alpha. You are engaging in this thing. There is, however, folks who, to Janny's mind, are like lesser AI slop. It's like, it's, as you say, Eileen, it's stuff which, I don't know, it's not data driven. When I say data driven in some of these instances, people aren't even like looking at the timestamp of a tweet and comparing it to a few OpenSea charts, right? Or a few CoinGecko charts. That's I don't know. The thing I don't get with folks who are, I don't know. I understand farming, but if you're also ostensibly trying to be out there to be a voice of education, I don't know why people aren't more careful with their words. Because if you communicate in a particular way, and it's very easy to show that your words aren't worth very much because they can't be trusted, and it's so clear, like at a certain point, people are going to mute you because it's like, oh, you are literally just farming. You're not actually adding value. You're not even doing the most basic basic of analysis, of just fact checking, right? And it's very easy and cheap to mute, right? You don't even have to block. It doesn't have to become a thing. But the vast majority of folks involved in Mibera have been like on this mad creative bend, like really productive and giving their energy to this thing. And yeah, it's easy for farmers because of the algorithms and the designers and their particular mission of driving value for shareholders by feeding the outrage machine. It's easy for that to disguise the fact that there are probably hundreds, if not 1,000 people in and around Mibera creating culture together already. And the collection hasn't even fully what's the word I'm looking for? Revealed. And that is, I think, the main takeaway from the last week's is it's not even necessarily 100% driven by Gianni. I've been completely absent, AWOL, and whatever. But yeah, the vocal minority, I don't know. The mute button, it brings peace. If you see people knowingly, willfully just farming, and it doesn't matter whether the content of their speech has truth in it, the mute button is cheap. Because there are a lot of us out there who are driven by sense of justice, driven by data, making best efforts to give our best. And hopefully in and around Mibera, we found each other. And yeah, I hope that there's more of that message kind of that resonates and rings in people's ears versus the, Gianni, THJ, FUD flavor of the day, whatever, that people feel emboldened because Gianni's been quiet at the moment, so now we can say what we want, and all of this stuff. It's just, I don't know, yeah, that, I don't know. But so on the one of ones, Jason Bourne, maybe in future you can check, you can be like, hang on, do you mean this? And then you can clarify your concern, and then maybe it's not a concern actually, maybe it's just the rug is different. And then to mention the auction, so there's 42 going to be released into the collection randomly. We're releasing the how and all of the data around that. The number crunchers amongst you can then run your simulations and figure out stats, odds, this type of thing. 3 are going to the winners of Cub Quest. 1 is a collab between Steady Teddy's artist. 1 is a collab with the Buller's artist. 1 is done by Gumi. And then there are whatever that is, 69 minus 45, whatever that is. My brain's gone. 24 is it? Those will be auctioned, right? And people can spend $1 on them or not, but 100% of the funds from those ones, that's just the more you pay to play, but 100% of those funds go into the liquid backing. And the winner must hold a Mibera, because that whatever Mibera they hold or they elect will transform into a one of one. I know some of you hate innovation, like some of you hate experimental stuff, and that's okay. Like there's lots of collections out there for you to choose between. Like if we're doing stuff that's pissing you off so badly, just go to any of the other like millions of NFTs out there who aren't trying out weird stuff. Like we're going to keep pissing you off. Like unless indeed you want to be upset, stick around. Happy to upset you. We will keep doing it. That's chill as well. I don't want to chase anyone away in that sense.
That's how life is. You have to feel something. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's not. You have to embrace it. Yeah, so should we move on with the rugging?
Shit, I've run out of rugs. That was the main rug. I can come up with another one off the top of my head if you want.
What was with that article from Soros? So for the first post from Mibera?
Oh, more. So you know what I was going to do, but I got distracted. Was just highlighting the fact that this culture has been building since some time ago in 2023. We have the articles. You have the supersetters. Maybe those of you out in the audience, you can comment now, share Like, at what point did you join this journey? Because if you're new here, we've been doing this since 2023. All of these weird, intricate ways of doing stuff, building and propagating culture, forming a sense of forward momentum together. Even if you think about this reveal process, we've had, what is it, 7 layers? Like, I don't know if you remember. Does anyone remember the Miladies on Berachain? That was a hoot. Prior to that, we had the parcels that came as a surprise and a drop. Janny also disappeared for the Miladies on Berachain moment. That was like a moment of outrage, floods, this type of thing. And then prior to all of that reveal stuff, we of course had the release of the Honey Roads. We had all of the gummy stuff. We've got the liquid backing joints now on. Yeah, Madara's. You are sometimes a dream. I hope they are.
PG.
I'm not going to complete that sentence. All of this is a long way of saying, if you have not been around at the genesis and formation of a weird internet phenomenon, you're currently participating in one, is the short way of saying this.
Okay.
Did Baby go into the sequencer?
No, not yet.
Do you want to? Hello.
Sure. I sent over a couple things to Mokus. We've been going hard at it, and we are right now testing we're testing a shitload of stuff, but we're working now with the free techno sample packs. And so I sent over a couple things you can check out if you feel like it. It's the very first test. It's like a 7-minute little mini mix of that sample pack. And then also we're experimenting with a lot of skins for the actual sequencer and how it looks. And the one where I sent a video over to Mokus as well that has a 909 skin, which we obviously are having to call the TR 6909. But that just shows like a quick run through. It's one of our devs, who's also like a drum and bass producer, just getting in there and has a track set up so you can see how that works. But we got a lot of cool shit.
Baby, can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
What's the link between the sequencer and Mibera's?
There's quite a bit. It's that that's gonna be like the first project that well, let me back up. We got a bunch of our own stuff coming out for the sequencer in terms of sample packs and content that you can use to build your own tracks. But the first thing we're gonna do is a Mibera project. So all of
and for the heathens amongst us who are not sure what a sequencer is, could you like explain it like I'm a hot dog without hands?
Yeah.
Like top level.
It's basically, we can show the video on here too. It'll help explain things, but it's basically a way that, especially how we have set it up, that people with no real music experience can actually create music as a human being making art, as opposed to a person shouting some stupid prompt at an AI. So it's basically a grid with a bunch of boxes, and you click onto those boxes and you drop in these custom loops that we've curated and produced specifically for this project. So they don't exist anywhere else. It's not like you could find them on any of the sample pack companies that are out there. So pretty exclusive there. And then you'll be able to drop them in, and we've put some significant guardrails on the whole thing so that almost anything that you drop in there is gonna result in a fucking banger. And then once you have that, you'll print it to a 2-track, or just you'll print the full song and then mint it, and we'll own it. You can do whatever you want with it. You'll own the IP for it. There will also be integrated into the whole thing a scoring system. So each song, based on some parameters that we've built into it, will get a score. And we will be doing some cool, fun things with those scores. I don't want to say exactly what yet, because that'll spoil the surprise. But
I thought you were going to drop. I thought you were going to drop the alpha. It's mental, but even already what you've just dropped is itself mental. Like people are going to have fun clicking buttons related to crypto, but fuck crypto, real rave shit buttons. You know what I mean?
Yes, and we've approached it from 2 ways. Like a lot of the people we've discussed the whole thing, like the whole build, the entire project of the sequencer. There's going to be people that dig it just because they're able to make cool music that they own and they can do shit with, and they can buy and sell and trade and use it in any of their custom videos or whatever they want. But we've added a layer of this point-based system that gives us a really cool platform to do a lot of really cool shit with it. So we will drop more details coming up pretty soon, but it should be really fun. I can tell you right now, like, us messing around with it has been super fun. We're a bunch of music geeks mostly, so of course it's going to be fun. But even from some of the people that we've put in front of it, they've had fun. And, like, you know, putting friends' kids in front of it and just saying, click around here and see what happens. And, you know, an 8-year-old comes up with a track that you're like, holy shit, this thing bangs. So it's stuff like that that I think people are really going to enjoy, and just a way to tie it back into the projects that we're partnering on with this. The first one being Mibera. I believe it's like between like 800 and 1,000 8-bar loops that we have for just the Mibera project. So a huge amount of variety, and we're just constantly adding more to it and making tweaks. And we're just super stoked for people to get in there and mess around with it and see what people can do creatively in it.
Should I share the video which you posted in the group chat?
Yeah, you can share that. That'll show, like, that's the if you don't know what a 909 is, it's like a vintage drum machine. So Google TR909 and you'll see what it looks like. We skinned this one. We got a bunch of skins in the works, and this one is modeled after the 909. So this is like a really short little video of how the sequencer works. All these little blocks you see in there are all the custom sample loops that we made. People will have access to those in various ways, and you can drop them in there and make a track.
Chronically online. Chironically. Chronically online. Chironically. Chronically online. Chironically. Chronically online. Chironically.
Not bad.
Chronically online. Chironically. Chronically online. Chironically.
I will pause there. Hey, amazing. Nice.
So I'll say too, there's a bunch of Easter eggs in here. The vocal samples, we went berserk with a bunch of samples that came from the lore, as well as actual voicemails that people left on the hotline. So there's gonna be some people out there that their voices are gonna be samples in the vocal packs. So that should be pretty fun.
Crazy stuff. Yeah, nice. Should I also play the audio which you sent me?
Yeah, you can do that. That's I pushed out a video that's just a small clip of that. It's long, it's like 7 minutes, so you could play it at the beginning and then skip around where you want. But that's just more testing that we've done in the sequencer. What you just played, like it was important for us to show you guys like what is a sequencer type of thing, and for the people that get the 909 reference, I definitely wanted to show that as well. But this is more of just a straight audio as an example of like what you can build and then own in the sequencer. So yeah, you could click on that.
I'd play the short video, and then I reckon at the end of this space, play the full 7-minute track because it's a banger.
Okay, let's do that. So, should I continue?
I mean, whichever. I mean, you could finish the vid, or you could just play the beginning, or just jump around in the track and then play the whole thing end to end at the end of the stream. Whatever you want. I don't mind.
Yeah, I finished the video and then played the track end of the stream.
Okay, cool.
The long one, yeah. Okay, so.
Chronically online. Chironically. Chronically online. Chironically.
Yeah, good work. Nice. Yeah. So should we move on? But let's see in the comments, how did you find the music and all this?
What, all the samples?
Yeah,
we wrote them all. They're like every one of those blocks, like all 1,000 sample loops, have been written by Kit Cloud Kicker and our network of musicians that we work with.
Okay.
We're actually right now. One of the squad, Louis, is working sort of as like an A&R type Bera right now, where he is setting up a bunch more custom sample packs with a bunch of producers outside of the team. So it's been super fun. Like we're able to, it's sort of like the Beret model, where we approach producers and DJs that we like anyhow, and we're like, hey, let's do this project. And we at first we're sort of like, are these people gonna get it? Like, are they gonna be into it? And we've been blown away by like the response being like, hell yes, this is dope, let's do it. So I think there's like 5 or 6 of those sort of sample packs coming out, and we're kind of just we're approaching more well-known producers as we progress, and so that'll be really sick. We're super excited about that. But there's some things in the works there where like part of the pitch to these producers is like this fan artist interaction, and so we'll be doing all kinds of competitions, and the DJs and producers that we're working with to create the sample packs will be involved in judging that, and prize packs will pull in some of their music and concert tickets and backstage stuff and stuff like that. So yeah, that'll be fun. There's I'm on my phone texting some people now, like, what can I say? What can I say? And what should I not say? So I'll leave it at that until I hear back. But there's going to be some really, really cool stuff that we're stoked to get in front of you guys. And the idea is to start with a simple sequencer that anybody can use, and then we have a bunch of features that we'll be rolling out that will make it more powerful and give people more creative options, and we'll be rolling those out as people sort of hone their skills in the really basic sequencer that we're going to start with.
Nice. Well done. I love that. Madara says we should do a Agobera, like a music festival with your sounds. That would be amazing. Only for Mibera holders.
I can say that we stuff that is made in this sequencer will be certainly played at various raves, whether it's a bear rave or if we do a Mibera specific one. So yeah, you could make a track and then hear it blasted out of a custom Function 1 system at a rave.
When not if. Then I haven't heard you. How are you going over there?
Hey, hello. I'm doing well. How are you there, Janny?
I don't know how to answer that. Good.
I've been kind of just
way to
taking it all
how you're
in.
feeling, Janny. There's no wrong answer.
There's always a do you know that documentary Game of Thrones? And there's like behind the white winter wall, there's like an army of some type of things trying to break over the wall. So that's kind of a good metaphor or visual for like Janny's brain is constantly trying to a fire hose of stuff, and my mouth doesn't do a good job of stopping it from coming out. But the stuff that Baby just shared, I think the sentiment on the timeline is funny, and the feeling Janny has is that we've been here before. Like most of the major L1s in existence have had periods of self-doubt and fear, uncertainty, and not sure if it's going to work out or not. It's a rite of passage. I've been through this cycle so many times. And I think there are aspects to the Bera eco that feed into that fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which are also true, which don't get vocalized enough, to be honest with you. Stuff like one of the reasons people focus on Janny and THJ is this sentiment that those of us who arrived later got dumped on by OGs. Right? I don't take it personally. Like, as a person who helped to bring in a lot of people through being very vocal on the timeline, through building a lot of stuff, we become the funnel through which a lot of people pass through. And the feeling that folks have of feeling duped, or like people lured them in and then dumped on their head, whilst there is a proportion of those folks where you just need to be honest, take responsibility for your own choices and your own actions. There are always trades. We always miss some stuff. But that aside, also underneath some of those criticisms and that fear, uncertainty, and doubt, even in the cases where people are not taking self-responsibility, their intuitions are right. Like a lot of the OGs who did receive the airdrop, like 5% to 6.9%, when you do the data analysis, to be honest with you, like those of us who can read it, we know what the story is too. Like 75% of folks who received an airdrop via the Bongbear rebases did not keep that in circulation. So it's also true that the dissatisfaction that is fueling the sentiment is not an incorrect one. Like the sense that you have that OGs have dumped on you or people have left and this type of thing is also a true statement. I think it's wrong to direct it at Janny because I'm one of the OGs who, one of the few OGs, and there aren't, it's not unanimous, but there are some amongst us who have stuck around. We didn't dump, we kept building. But I am perfectly fine with people directing what is a true energy at me. I don't care. Like, you think this is my first go around the rodeo? I'm fully happy to take responsibility for my actions. Like, I know what I'm responsible for. I know why I'm here. I know why I'm building. So I don't mind when others need to go through some growth experience in the process of them, hopefully at some point taking responsibility for their choices. Now, there is also a hunger on the timeline for a different set of narratives. And I will put hand on heart that I did contribute to a set of hopium-driven narratives that, to be honest, we can only control what we can control, right? At THJ, we ship relentlessly, not perfectly, but if we say we're going to do something, we try our best to do it. And at times we mess up and this type of thing, and that's fine. But the spirit is always to do what we say we're going to do. But there is stuff where it's outside of our control. And one of the lessons that I've learned, again, I'm a slow learner, is to be careful of the narratives that you push when they're reliant on externalities that you don't actually have influence over. And so during this period of quietness, a lot of it has been around trying to see what's real, trying to see what's true, and trying to see a path forward that isn't fueled by irrational exuberance, that isn't fueled by hopium, that doesn't, let's say, pump up folks who are predisposed to not reading, to not taking responsibility for their choices. And the analogy that I'd like to convey is, one, we've been here before with L1s. A lot of L1s need to go through their dark night of the soul, through trials and tribulations. It's just the fact that you have folks, a lot of folks who don't have the stamina or the tenacity end up leaving. And it's that standard discourse of tokens moving from paper paws to diamond paws, and this type of thing. But to get outside of crypto, fuck crypto, real rave shit, to get into the Mibera of it, there is a bifurcation on the timeline of folks who are just looking at Mibera from the price chart and being like, this is a failed project. Now, what's interesting is that those folks don't see value in the fact that you've got hundreds and hundreds of people creating shit together. And I think we've seen we've seen this before in rundown economies. Bye, Han. Thank you. In the origins of, let's say, the free rave movement, free party movement, the Roland 909 is an example of a piece of equipment that was totally not used in Detroit and places like that. It was seen as a failed technological experiment. Like when it came to market, it was a total flop and total failure, to the point where there was a lot of these machines just floating around and they were essentially seen as trash. And then you would have the kind of what became the Detroit techno movement kind of acquiring these Rolands and other machines for basically nothing and using them in ways that they were not designed to be used, right? Little did those folks like Derek May and other folks from around that time realize they were kickstarting a global movement that would cross the oceans. At the same time, a funny thing happened. 4 DJs from the UK were in Ibiza at the time, and they tried ecstasy or MDMA for the first time, right? And they saw the impact of this drug on the dance floor, dancing to their music. They went back to the UK with messages of, yo, you've got to try this out. And this was in and around the same time as you had the emergence of house, techno, and this type of thing. You started to have basically this reciprocal backwards and forwards conversation through music between the UK and Detroit techno, Detroit and techno producers from that period. Economically speaking, at this time, these places were under recession. The economy was fucked up. A lot of these places, you had empty or abandoned buildings. Look at the timeline in and around Berachain. It was like a similar sentiment of shit's down bad and whatever. And you have groups of people who, even in the face of empty buildings, a shit economy, bad jobs, who have an urge to create culture, to make things, to gather together, do shit together. And if there's nothing else, I think it's interesting to observe on the timeline those people who are saying Mibera is a failed project. And on the flip side, you've got this real kind of like massive dichotomy of people saying Mibera has changed my life, right? Which one is it? Is it this is a failed project, or is it a project changing people's lives? What do we mean by value, right? And Gianni's observation is that the way this normally goes down is the punks, the free party people, the people on the margins of society will go into the neighborhoods that are considered dangerous, run down, and whatever. They will go there and they will create culture together. And that will kickstart what we now know as processes of gentrification. So typically when you have that type of stuff happening, artists get attracted, there's cheap conditions of living, that allows them space in their life to create shit. The presence of more artists means it becomes more appealing to a different set, and the cycle goes on. And so fuck crypto, real rave shit, we see this in the real world and we see it in crypto too. So if there is a narrative that you need to build around, it's that the value systems of people coming together, doing what they love together in and around zones is a valuable and value creating endeavor. And I don't want to get more hopium than that. I don't want to say moon, this and that. But one thing I am absolutely sure of is that humans coming together consistently, making shit together every day is valuable. And I think that's simple, right? The next wave of THJ stuff that we're doing, I'm not going to get into it, but this is the spirit it's coming from. We've not gone anywhere. We're not going anywhere. And there's hundreds of us who share this sentiment, and that's valuable.
Yeah, agree with everything. We have a lot of topics which are in my mind. I don't know if you want to touch on or with which topic we should move on. There was a question about the communication of communities. So a lot of people are asking for like a Telegram chat. They know that Discord got banned or seized.
I think if you go to Honey Road now, you can make forums, you can make threads. I was meant to announce it, but you can go there and do that. But we're still in a... there's stuff coming. I'm not going to leak it, but there will be chat things. And the forums will be the place to go to learn about it. But I warn you, it's not for the light of heart what's coming down the pipeline. It's not going to be Telegram, sorry for your loss. It's not going to be Discord, sorry for your loss. But it will be something.
Wow. Okay. Exciting. The other thing I wanted to ask, you decide if you touch on that. It's the swag score. So basically now the collection is finished. What about the swag score?
So the swag score does increase your chances of getting a 1 of 1 amongst some categories. We'll release all of the logic. It's also the, if you remember, Mibera is a reflection of Milady. And so if you go to Golden Light Mirror and you go to the notes on creating Milady Maker, Milady also has this notion of swag score. So Mibera has swag score because Milady has swag score. We've factored it into influencing the, let's say, chances of getting a 1 of 1, influenced it to some degree, not massively, but it does factor in. But remember, Mibera is an anti-derivative, but a reflection also of the shadow side of Milady. So if you look at a Milady, there's also a swag score. So that's where that comes from.
Okay, so we were speculating in when you were absent that we weren't sure that you need basically a high swag score or a low one. You want to clarify that?
There's
You don't
many.
have to.
There's many games to play. Some people want things that are prestigious and high score. Some people want stuff that is plain and understated. In terms of raw rarity, it's the most rare to have the highest swag score, or it's the most rare to have the least the lowest swag score. But you know, different people ascribe value systems in different ways. Mibera simply has a plethora of different value systems for people to play games. What we observed with Milady, for example, is if you look at the price premium for Miladies that have a really low swag score, it's very high. And so there's these different games that people play, and it's somewhat of a shibboleth. It's another way. So, for example, in the Milady community, where it's like, do you really get the culture? Like, are you just chasing the super highest swag, or are you? If it's a shibboleth for, I get Milady culture to like have a super low swag, Milady. But you know, it depends. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If you want to learn more about the origins of why we went that route, I definitely check out Charlotte Fang's Golden Light Mirror article on the design notes for building Milady, and it very explicitly talks about swag scores and this kind of interesting cultural phenomenon of people really placing a premium on the lower swag scores. Remember, Milady took 6 months to mint out, and that was 6 months of an active, very small community ascribing value and meaning to the Milady collection. And in fact, the design notes didn't come out, I believe, till 3 months after the mint started. So there is a degree to which the design notes were formulated in part to communicate some of the ideas that went into the collection, but also to capture observations from the first 3 months of culture creation.
Yeah. Are there anything else you want to touch on? Elsewise, I would clarify once again how we move on. So for the next few days or weeks, what you can expect. Something else you want to touch on? Or maybe
there's an upcoming tributary mint coming up. I believe it's on the weekend, the Nichibi collection. This is worth touching on because they're a tributary to Mibera. As we've seen with a lot of mints, minting platforms charge projects a lot of money, somewhere in the region of 10%, if not more. And the mint experience isn't necessarily the greatest. So whether that's Kingdomly, where they charge the creators an amount, or $3 per mint to the purchaser, or whether it's Magic Eden or OpenSea. And so we are making available the pre-mint tech that we've created, and then we run that, and you get the additional benefit of the way that is handled. It allows much more granular control over the composition of the Genesis culture. Now, Nichibis, I'm probably saying it wrong. This is a word I've only ever read. They're interesting because it's the significantly first time that we've seen someone who is beyond Kumi, who you met, by the way, and that was a great show. Thanks for that. And Taguchi's a legend too. I actually learned stuff about both of them that I didn't actually even know. And it's interesting because the folks who are involved in Nichibis, they're like really super deep in Milady culture. So it's actually quite a remarkable cultural moment that you've got a creator who is very widely loved in the Milady community, who has made so many kind of schizo videos that really kind of helped to amplify that form of aesthetic in and amongst the Milady ecosystem. Kind of taking an interest in and deciding to mint in Bera despite the headwinds. Like, I wouldn't say these folks are Bera natives. They're like Bera converts over time. And I'd say like they are as much of a bridge between, let's say, the wider Milady ecosystem and Mibera/Bera chain. And from a sociological perspective, just observing shifts in sentiment and approach over time, this is just one of those. I think it's like a threshold moment. Not to mention that Tuski, sorry if I'm mashing your name, again, I only read it. They're kind of chads, and like their heart is in the right place, in the sense of they're just out there creating things. And I'm always of the opinion that finding the others is most of the trick in this game, is essentially finding the real ones who they're here to build and they're here to stay. It doesn't matter what the noisy AI slop crowd are saying, or the engagement farmers are saying, or like what the markets or charts are saying. Like, they're kind of autistically into what they're into. And so, yeah, their mint is coming up. We're helping them out. 10% of the mint is going to the liquid backing of Mibera and the holders. And the whatever supply is left after the pre-mint will be on Magic Eden. And I think they're worth supporting. That's my kind of, obviously I'm biased. I love the art. They've drawn Janny a whole bunch. This is a sponsored tweet, but I think the how do I put this? It's meaningful in the sense of it indicates and shows the propagation of culture happening before us. And fundamentally, if Berachain didn't have this type of culture happening, honestly speaking, I'm going to say out loud what you're not allowed to say. It would be like a VC ghost chain that is like a farming chain. Like, without the community, without the creative stuff, without the crazy projects, without all of this stuff, the soul would not be there. I think it's important to say these things out loud rather than be skirting around stuff, because then we can move from a shared place of understanding. And so, yeah, to that end, I do think when you see stuff which really is syncing cultures, Tuski has a really big audience out in the kind of ETH NFT circuits and that type of thing. I think generally speaking, the best chance that we have as an ecosystem, and I mean Berachain more broadly, of having something break out is in the NFT sector. Tokens at the moment are much more prone to the gravitational pull of Bera. And I believe in the long term, I believe in autists applying their attention at stuff in a concerted way over time. And Berachain and the foundation has no shortage of those. But I think in the meantime, we also need for sentiment uncorrelated breakout successes. I agree with Smokey. I agree with Kevin from Ooga Booga on this. And my personal opinion is that the most sustained ones, the best chance right now is NFTs. And that's what's going to help the Henlos, the Kias, the everything else, is for people from outside of Bera to see, oh shit, can pop off over there. We've got the quality. Like, had Mibera with all of its DeFi tech, its profit sharing, to be frank, now that the SEC person has come out and said on-chain royalties with NFTs are not securities, I just state it. Once you've got projects like Mibera, had we launched into the 2021 bull mania or whatever, we've built and delivered and shipped all of the stuff people were asking for during those parts of the cycle. We've kind of just done it. It's out there and it's working. It's just kind of a different time at the moment. But I think stuff NFTs, at least from the data that Gianni's looking at, are really, you know, they're on the boil, let's say. And I think for the Bearer eco, given all of the structural stuff that we have going on, it's the NFT sector, to Gianni's mind, which is, whether it's Teddies, Bullers, Nachibis, whatever. Like these are the things which I think stand the best chance, structurally speaking, of popping off. And once you have a few, like as Eileen shared in the last show, with the Mad Lads, like we've seen these dynamics, these cycles, these patterns happen before. Like it's part of people shit on Gianni and THJ for, why have you done so many things? It's that, like, if you focus all of your attention on a single it's like stuff rotates, right? Like you can have a token over here, NFT projects, some DeFi projects, like having stuff people can trust aren't going to rug you, but the team is there and building and whatever. And the more of this stuff you have is good. You don't know what's going to pop off. So to that end, that's the main message. I guess it hasn't really super changed. We're not going anywhere. We've got a lot more stuff coming down the pipeline. Practically speaking, with the one-of-ones, we need to figure out how to do the distribution. So if we're going to do one each day, we release the logic. We need to show it's provably. Here's the problem. If we do it the deep technical cypherpunk way, it's going to favor people who are very technically capable and proficient. They will, to be honest, be able to pick up the signal before it hits the wider public. And so people who are that way inclined will be able to have edge over unsophisticated participants, which is the majority of us. I cannot be sophisticated, but I'm unsophisticated most of the time. And the alternative is we do a live stream and we have the constrained list of who can win in that category. And then we just spin the wheel live on stream and we use a different service. But then we're doing 69 more streams. So like that's also, we need to figure out, maybe we do that in the Discord. Marcus needs some time off. All of us need some time. So we just need to figure out the like implementation detail for how that random number is selected in a way that the community by consensus is sufficiently happy is fair. Like that's really what we're trying to achieve in this type of a setting. I don't know, do any of you up here have an opinion on what your preference would be? Would you like it just to be live is a mood? It's fun, but it's like 69 days in a row. That's madness.
I mean, Migs and I are already going to mental institutions, so it's okay.
Are you allowed the internet in there though?
We are swinging by EDC first, and then Disney World also. Aileen,
Yes.
don't forget that. En route to the straitjacket. So yes, we will meet you there, Gianni, if you're interested. We would love to rendezvous.
We could do a live stream, but just fucking, just put a ball gag in Gianni's mouth. Don't let Gianni talk. You spin the wheel and then it's fucking done. You know what I mean? But just so we have this filmed log of the thing being selected. So to clarify, I can't close this window without the screen going bad. So for example, let's say the sun. Remember, the source of truth is the article. Don't take my words right now as actionable. Don't go and spend money based on this. Let's say the sun, one of one, is going to one of the sun Mibera NFTs. In this article, we are going to release a repo. You will have a list of which NFTs we mean by the sun NFTs. You will have that list. That list is going to be in the public domain. Everyone will be able to look at it. And then you will be able to figure out, okay, let's say there's 300 NFTs that can win this one of one. You know that all of the ones in that list have a, let's say, 1 in 300 chance of winning that one of one. Let me have a think. The way that swag, so yes, in this sense, the number spun on a screen, it wouldn't be 1 to 10,000. It would be the we'd have an index of all of the NFTs which are in that category, and then we'd spin the wheel, and the wheel would actually have 300 numbers of it. Let's say it landed on 1. You'd go to index 1, and then index 1, you'd see which NFT that is. And that is the NFT then that would convert to the 1 of 1. So if you were sniping, you would have at the ready the data in the repo, and then you would really quickly try and see, okay, it's landed on number 1. What's number 1 index? Then you'd search on OpenSea, place, I don't know, whatever. But that would be the process. And the reason we're doing it this way is we are in a technical ecosystem. So there are always going to be technically sophisticated people who have edge, but we're trying to reduce their edge as much as possible, so that, you know, the normal folks who don't have that like supreme skill set yet have a chance. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is there a
Yeah.
specific thing on the 1 a day thing? Like, can we shorten that time to, like, I don't know, 2 a day or something?
I would look. I personally, my preference would be to do them in batches of, I don't know, some amount. I'll be frank. I'll be Janny. Some of it is to give Gumi time to finish off the extra NFTs I've suddenly asked Gumi to make. So some of it's a time delay thing. A lot of the core initial batch are done, so we could do it in batches up until the point that there's some left, and then it could shift to 1 a period.
Yeah, maybe it's better to do like the
By the way,
Huh?
do you hate, like, I don't mean to shit on Jason Bourne. Eileen, you're very honest. Do you think having that extra number, which is auction, is a mistake, and should we pull that back and just not do that?
I think as long as I think where people might get upset is thinking that it's unfair. So I think as long as like it's very clear how the process is fair, it's okay. But then it's up to you if you want to do stuff, because
Well, you know, like I don't mind. It's true. I have many levers at my disposal to get my way, let's say. However, Mibera isn't just a Janny thing anymore. It's also I consider you 4 up here.
Sorry for our loss.
Sorry for your loss. You are, let's say, you've put time in to Mibera. Let's put it that way. And so I would also defer to you guys. Should we keep the 1 of 1s capped at 45? So that's the original 42, and then the 3. Sorry, wrong. 50. So that's the 42, which were originally the random ones. Then we added 2, so that's 44. Then there's the 3 that are from Cup Crests, that's 47. And then there's 1 each to Den, Lana, Mokus, Den of Nothing, Migs, Eileen, and Han. So that's another 7. I may be forgetting someone off there. We'll look to the article for the source of truth. I don't think I am. So what was that? I've lost count. 42 plus 2 is 44, plus 3, 47, plus 7. So it's 47 plus 7, so 54. So should we leave it at 54? Or should we have this auction thing where it takes it up to the meme math number? To be honest, the reason I suggested to give you an insight into the way Janny thinks is 42.0 is a really good Mibera number. And then the Jester universe was like, no, fuck you, Janny. It's not going to be 42.0 because you now have to do these other things. And so the auction idea was so that I could bring it up to another meme number, which is 69. That's the truth of the matter.
54 is actually also kind of a good number, because it's like, actually, I don't even know if this is true anymore. I think maybe you can like draw a card Like, I think there are 54 cards, right, in a deck.
There's 52.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Yeah, see,
Never mind.
upsetting. Although, is it? Wait,
But
no.
there's two
52,
jokers.
but then there's 2 jokers.
Yeah,
And the instructions.
and well, yeah, but Janny, again, meme mass is an important part of bear religion. We know this,
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
69, I think, is, for me, it jumps right out. Plus, again, there's those of us in varying degrees of depth of Mibera. You can belong in a straitjacket, much like all of us on this call, or you can be on the other end, which is somebody that is just, hey, I heard about this amazing collection. I would love to have a one-on-one. I've never participated, but I got a whole bunch of money that I would love to contribute. And that would appease those 14 individuals, right? They're everyone varying on your degree of financial situation, varying on your degree of intelligence in terms of, getting into the docs and trying to figure out what's going on behind the scenes. Everyone can play. So
True.
I would say 69.
One of the so there's one of the narratives is THJ is extractive. They milk the community. This type of so that aside, the fact that 100% of the
it goes to the liquid
auctions goes to liquid backing, right? So then it's like, well, okay, yeah, it short circuits that. I don't agree with the milking thing because I think people love Beanie Babies, but and it's the act of transacting for something that's lower stakes is a transformational process that I think a lot of folks, let's say, devalue in a way that they shouldn't do. But then I'd be interested to hear your thoughts.
I mean, I've been in crypto for a while, so when I see a bunch of people expect immediate success and green candles and why aren't candles green, it's just a story that's been played all the time, every time since I've been around, so I'm not here for all that, I'm here because I feel like this is my vibe. I don't expect immediate success from anything because it's unreasonable and it rarely happens. And if it does happen, it goes right back down and people are miserable again. So I like to invest my attentions into what I identify with, what I believe is long-term value. I'm a forest person, not just a trees person. So I hold things long-term. I buy the dips. I take out longs on these situations. I double down on things I believe in DeFi and crypto. So that's why I'm still here. And that's why I still invest in the projects that I still invest in.
That's very wholesome, Dan. But what about the 69 and the auctioned Miberas? Yay or nay?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were sorry. My bad. No,
all good. I love the forest metaphor. It was incredibly wholesome. And back to regular programming.
Sorry. I just got off work while I was in this call and I just closed the laptop. Man, I don't think it's easy to please everyone. So I think it should just be sent. Just send it.
I think that's a vote for 69, Jenny, if you speak.
Yep. That's what it means. 69 is my vote. 69 is my vote.
You broke my autism there. I was like, okay. Marcus, what do you think?
Yeah, I think too we should keep the importance of mean math. And I think where the misunderstanding was coming from is that people thought that you would you promised that there will be 42 one-of-ones which will be randomized, given away. And I think people thought that this is now new, turned into an auction. So, but that's not the case. So the 42 stays the same. So people have no reason to FUD, and the auction is a part of liquid backing. So yeah, I don't see any problem with that. And just like Mick said, maybe there are some ways who would love to have one of ones, and they would do an auction. And from a marketing point of view, that's something good too. So you have an auction where you can look at it, you can tweet about it. Oh, look, how much is the price? And maybe there are two guys who are outbidding each other. That's I don't see any bad thing about this.
Based. Okay. And then Eileen's, your main feedback was, let's look at the frequency. Does it need to be one a day?
I honestly, I'm cool with anything. I think it's already too deep in the rabbit hole anyway. And yeah, whatever happens is, maybe at the end of like 69 days or after another 69 reveals, we find out something interesting. So yeah.
Okay.
Wait, hold on, Jenny. There's something that I want to actually say. So because Firehawks was the one that told me about Mibera's, I just checked my logs with him, and he told me about this like November 9th was like the first mention of Mibera. And I think
2023?
no, it was just 6 months ago. And
Oh, I see. Okay.
and so basically I realized that I've spent 6 months trying to figure out Mibera, because he said a whole bunch of stuff. So he said a lot of strange things that I don't know what any of these means. So first he says to watch you and this Mibera thing, and said you are taking Rave on chain, and I'm like, what? And then yeah, he said a whole bunch of stuff. I think he's like psyoping me. And then he talked a lot about Bear Doge and Mibera's, and sent me all the articles. Then he asked me like 2-3 weeks later, after I started reading the Mibera articles, to ask you what Mibera's were. And the thing is, Firehawks, I just have to say, it's been 6 months. Now I am, I spent a lot of time in the past 2 months trying to get the reveals going and stuff. And yeah, I haven't figured it out. So
Can you let us know when you figure it out?
Probably be dead by then. But
are we supposed to?
Well, if any of you figure it out, can you let Jenny know? Because I'm very invested in how this is unfolding.
okay. So yeah, long story short, it's just like I don't know what I'm supposed to answer, because I don't think there's like ever going to be a right or wrong answers. Because I for one think that Miberas are making us, and we are not making Miberas. So therefore, Milady's on bear chain still. That's my
Ladies on
opinion.
Barachain.
That's the only opinion I have now. Yeah,
That's the biggest
being
question
made.
for me. At the I've not gone to check my stack, but I had I don't know if you've seen, but you can actually, if I know the handheld objects sometimes obscure the face, so you can go to the vending machine and plug in any of your Miberas that you really love into the vending machine, just the ID of the thing, and you can tweak the traits so that you can then click save it for social media use if you want. But yeah, the hardest question in this whole process for me is, which I had not expected, was I don't want to take off my Milady's on Barachain to put on my Mibera. So I myself am in a incredibly difficult bind. So I understand your quandary. Any other questions? So the TLDR there is some people had an emotional rug experience for free, and they spent some amount of time in fury and anger at having been betrayed. But we've come to it was a quick, just a quick around the block rug. But now a lot of folks are back off.
Do we have consensus then, Janny, on 69 is the best?
Yeah,
number?
let's go. Let's go. I don't know. The article will be the source of truth, and the frequency, the frequency of one a day. Zaguchi was happy with it. Gumi was happy with it. Eileen's just capitulated on stream. Janny's confused. How about you three? Is one a day insane?
I like it.
I like it too. It'll be tough, but if we keep it short, then yeah, why not?
I don't know that we need to do a live stream every single day for it, Janny. I think the reveal is good. What if you had like a Mibera TV channel exclusive to the Mibera reveal one a day as the wheel spun and landed?
Mibera TV, that's innovation. Yeah, because Marcus, you were like, you resigned yourself to you doing the stream. Maybe that's the backup, but like asking even a full-on Mibera pilgrim convert / mental madhouse person to do 69 days in a row, that's a commitment. You can learn full-on skills in that time, you know what I mean? So I'll speak to the Mibera TV folks to see if actually the problem, the good thing about a live stream is like the
reaction
somehow it feels fairer. I don't know if that is I don't know if that's a delusion though in reality.
Well, there could even be a live stream that started from the Mibera account or the THJ account or something 5 to 10 minutes before, played some really good baby Mibera music, and then the screen would pop up, the wheel would pop up, it spins, it lands, boom, there you go. Have a nice evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Okay. I see. Yes. So anyway, the implementation details to be communicated in this article. We will do some horse trading behind the scenes as to the venue, but we will make sure it's not 69 days of 1 to 2 hours. Ideally, it's like 10 minutes for 69 days in a row. Even that. Like, folks, which other NFT pre-full reveal project has even... I don't know. So sorry for your loss. And you've been elected, Marcus. I'm sorry for your loss.
No, I'm ready for it. We can do it.
Okay.
But, sometimes I will be on other places, like on holidays, but daily 5 or 10 minutes, it's not a problem.
Okay. Marcus on tour. You're going to be like our resident garden gnome that we take pictures of next to the Eiffel Tower and next to the cherry blossoms in Japan, doing a little Mibera spinning of the wheel around the world. That sounds pretty wholesome.
That's commitment, Marcus. I will give you that.
Yeah.
If you did, again, 69 days, Janny, that's ironically almost exactly 10 weeks. So if we did like every Tuesday and reviewed the 7 that were revealed from the prior week too, something to consider. At least then we'd have a lot more to talk about, Marcus. Be like,
that would be
Tuesday this came
too,
up, Wednesday this, Thursday, right? We could go through each one and review them together.
Independently, I was also considering how the Mibera goes on. So because I was thinking now we will have the reveal and then it's over. So it's nothing to be excited in the future. And I was considering doing like a weekly or a bi-weekly podcast, and we are coming together and discussing stuff. Yeah, but now show goes on with 69 streams, or we do it like Mick said. I think it's a good idea that we wait for a week and then we will reveal 7. It's also an option. I'm open for everything.
Do you ever regret like DMing Jenny about the?
No, regretting, no way. I'm still fascinated that one DM, how much impact it can have, and I'm much more open to DM people because of that. Not only, but also because of that.
Yeah.
That's
Marcus, you have Jenny's permission to screenshot the. I can't remember what it was, but I'd also be interested to be reminded back to.
Yeah.
But if you want to, if it's appropriate, I can't remember what we spoke about. If it's privileged information revealing private stuff on your end, feel free not to, but feel free to share it
now, live.
Or a screenshot later on down the line, whatever.
I can pull it up.
You have it ready, Marcus?
No, but the DMs with Jenny, I'm searching. So wait, I show my screen.
Get ready for feet pics.
Where
I
is
dare
Jenny?
not dream. I dare not dream.
Where is Jenny? I didn't want to disturb him.
If you go to the main, I think you can search. Yeah.
Oh, where are the DMs, man?
Or yeah, that's it. I think it's deep name. Oh yeah, it's okay. Never mind.
So let's go back.
When people ask where are you on the timeline, sometimes I'm just like really deep in DMs with folks.
So that's the message. Hello, Jenny. I have a YouTube channel. I would love to have a small podcast with you in English about Berachain. I just did my first video on Berachain last week and onboarded some Hungarians to Berachain. What do you think? I already talked about Berachain. A lot of Hungarian people joined the Discord and I gave them a quick one-of-one. First thing I mentioned was honey jar. And you just sent this one. Yeah. So this is how it started, October 23. And oh no, it was September 5th. And basically 6 weeks later, I reached out again. And then you answered. Yeah.
Sorry for your loss.
So, that's a typical combo with Jenny. What do you mean? Hi, sir. What do you mean? What do you mean? Yes, happy to better on your channel. So that was
I
the
remember
confirmation.
This. No, I don't really remember this. I'm glad for how it turned out, though.
So yeah, that was funny, and this is how it started. And the first podcast was about Epiology DAO. And then glad you.
But I need to go. I just saw the time. I'm glad you reached out. I think you were the right person for this. I can't imagine it any other way. I haven't yet to see any other streamer anywhere who could have pulled off what you've pulled off, and you've also how do I put this? You've created this or helped to create this container that also Eileen, Migs, Den of Nothing, and all the other folks who've come through, Anya, etc. So yeah, I don't know. You have left an imprint into this weird project in a way that I don't know many creators that I've come across could have. That's not to say you're a one of one, but just that at least in my journey, it's very infrequently you come across someone who would be able to host these spaces, nor willing to. So I know I appreciate it, and I think a lot of other people must do as well, through just the fact that, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people have been showing up to them.
Thank you a lot. That means a lot. That feels my heart feels warm. This was my first English podcast, and it was also difficult for me. And as we were speaking before that, I don't think I choose Mibera, but Mibera choose me. And
yes,
this is very, very accurate in my situation. So yeah, I just want to show one thing, because there are some rumors um, that I'm not following you. I follow you. Just Lana Del Rey made a tweet that breaking news, I'm not following Jenny. That's not true. You tricked me once, not again. So yeah. And thank you for everything, Jenny. Not only in my name, but what you've done for Mibera, for us, for everyone. Thanks a lot.
sorry for your loss, and I have to run, but parting message here is hello, and furthermore, miladies on Verichain.
Miladies on Barachain.
My ladies on Barachain. Bye, everyone.
So, oh man, that was intense,
Yeah.
emotionally, and I had emotion cocktails. As he started to tell these stories, I calmed down. But first, when he said he will rug us, I was like 180, and yeah.
I mean, did you? I don't know. I think that I had the opposite. I was thinking about this a lot, actually, in the past few days. Like, but I originally, like, my original thought was kind of like you, where this is kind of a closure, you know, and then we can turn all of this stuff into its pieces towards like a Mibera documentary or something, because
Yeah.
they're all recorded on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And
YouTube and Twitter. X.
yeah, and like everybody's comments through every single thing, you know,
Yeah.
both good and bad, but it's like the story, right?
Yeah.
It's a story of this insane 6 weeks. But then I thought, like, Mibera, the way I started to think about like how I got involved with Mibera, which is why I brought it up. Like, it's just, I don't know what it is and how to explain it. It's like this, it's not a curiosity driven thing. It's just like, it's fucking there. Well, for me, it is kind of fucking there because of, you know, Firehawks. And then for some reason, I spent just hours after like my regular sleep time in all of December trying to read stuff. Not because I was like, oh, this is interesting, let me find out. It's like, it's this weird thing that I don't know what any of this shit means. And I've told Jenny this multiple times, like, okay, dude, these are all English words. I technically know all of them, but all together they don't make sense. Like, why is this? What are you talking about? You know, there was like a line he wrote that I remember vividly. That's like, there's no human love. That's why we say, I'm in love with you, not I love you or some shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck, right? So it's like Mibera for me, and I didn't realize how much time that has absorbed out of my life. Which, but at the same time, it was never like, oh my God, this is one thing I can't get rid of out of my head and I have to understand it or else it just, you know, I can't move on with my life or something. It was like
it was very lighthearted, you know. It was not something that was bothersome or annoying. Um, and it just kept going. And then I started to see very clearly, especially this past weekend, that this is actually never ending, because this is the whole purpose. Like, the way we keep talking about, you know, onboarding or bringing people on chain. And I actually, you know, have a spiel about this because I used to teach very, very similar ways, you know, to not get everybody like so impatient and stuff. And that was it's like the way I think about being in blockchain technologies is like you're learning a language where you're not like you're not studying for years and years and years and then suddenly one day knowing how to speak the language, but more so like you start to be around people who know stuff, and then you just make the mistakes and then you pick it up, and that's how you learn through time. Because that's how you know, do the onboarding. Like, nobody studied all of Ethereum before making a transaction, right? And so like, and then that's when I started to really understand and I shared this with you guys, and I'll be sharing more when the right time comes. But the Daemon NFT idea is really this. It's like getting people more involved through stuff that they like, as opposed to trying to force it upon them. And then eventually, you know, through like engagement and through their time in Bear Chain, and specifically on this end of the Bear Chain, that this will actually be all beneficial. You know, I think what's been really, really strange for me to see is not like there are people who are less experienced, or maybe they're younger or newer to crypto and stuff, but more so I don't know. I really don't know how to like pinpoint what I'm trying to express. But it's like, it's this, your willingness to give in your time and resources, that's what makes this space. Like, through whatever like idealism you practice here, or whatever chain, whatever maxi, non-maxi you believe in, like that's this whole fucking thing. And yeah, I think like this for us, Mibera is going to be like a really, really important piece of all of our lives, because we've put in the time to understand all of this, even though right now I still don't fucking understand what the fuck is going on at any given point. At least that's how I feel anyway. And so yeah, I think in the future we're just gonna have a lot of conversation about all kinds of stuff. I believe it's not just gonna be a specific vertical or specifically about Berachain, because at the end of the day, it's not like okay, you know, you have a different mobile carrier than your friend and then you're not friends because they use like a different network, right? It's all about the people. So along with Genesis culture, which is where we're at right now, I think this is like a really, really interesting continuation and starting point. And I think it'll be really awesome if more and more people are able to do more, speak more, share more, either individually, you know, their stories directly to Jenny, based on trust or whatever. And I think like this is the thing that requires all of us to do something for. And yeah, you know, Jenny mentioned earlier about the OGs being here, and a lot of them have just like left. Let's make sure they buy back at a premium.
Yeah, a lot of left, but also a lot of new people join. Like, look at here, Madara is here, and he can make an impact too. He can bring some other people too through other
Yeah, his wife
communities, through
first.
yeah, through new communities. And what you just described is it came into my mind that it's value. When I started with crypto, when I started um, not only with coins but with NFTs, you start to ask, why do these things have such a price action? Okay, they're speculating, but that needs to be something more. And with art, if you dig into art, you will recognize that ways or rich people see value, and they want to spend so much money for a unique art. Why? Because they feel attached to it. They feel moved by it. They have a story to tell, or something, a feeling that comes up with looking at this art. And that's why I think NFTs, the more they can attach, the more that make you can move emotionally, the more valuable they are. Not reflecting the price, but as you described, that you since 6 months for now, you sleep less, and you read the articles, and you spent a lot of time with Mibera. So it is valuable to you, and it doesn't matter if it costs $200 or $2,000. It has a meaning to you. And what I felt, that there are a lot of people who feel the same way, and I don't think that this goes away. It just needs time. We just had the latest reveal. We had the fake reveal months ago, so it just needs time till other people's discover. And yeah, this will, I think this will have a bigger impact. Not in terms of price action, we can't influence that, but in terms of community, real people like us. We are here chatting now, and we are here thinking that Mibera has value, and we're not overstating that if we say Mibera choose us and changed our lives. And I think there are a lot of people out there who think the same way, and this is value, this is valuable, and I don't think that this disappears.
Yeah, and also it's really important to note that you can actually create value by not being like a creator of a collection or a creator of a token. And that's actually how this whole space gains value. It's you find something that's at a relatively affordable price to you, and then you help contribute to it. And in one sense, even though Teddy's minted like earlier than Mibera's, that's actually how they've driven value to Mibera, right? Like without Steady Teddy's as a collection, the eyes won't make any sense. All the other stuff won't make any sense. So if right now you are holding something that you think is quite interesting to you, I would suggest that you start creating content about it. I think a few weeks ago, in the very early, one of the very early reveal streams we've had, I mentioned like what I was looking for in terms of rarity. So at the time, Mokas, you told me like, oh, you shouldn't have said it, but I didn't say the reason, but I was fine with it simply because I knew if I spoke out more about what I valued, then more people will recognize it, meaning those things that I either own or want to own becomes more valuable than all the other things in comparison, right? So that's one of the biggest ways. Even if you have like just a couple of minutes to go on Twitter every single day. You have no idea what any single one of like your comments on Twitter replies can do to like 10 other human beings, right? It can prevent them from first of all, it can help to get them rugged, but it can also do to like, prevent them from being rugged. And every single thing, sometimes it's just one comment, sometimes it's just like someone asking a question, but they're not really, maybe other people haven't responded to it, and you just make one response. Like that's the fucking difference it makes. So yeah, that's kind of a really, really good way for
every
people to
little
act.
meme, every little comment, everything contributes to the whole value to Mibera. Yeah, that's nice. Anything else you want to touch on? Otherwise, we could wrap up here after 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Man,
how do you feel?
There was something that I was looking for. It was the only thing that I was looking for, and it's not because obviously I don't know what the fuck was gonna be a grail. And I got it.
So you were sniping one, a specific one, Mibera.
Yeah.
Okay. Based on a swag score or?
No. It's just a very, very specific item that I thought if
So you already saw the shadow, and then now you have the confirmation, and then now you pulled the trigger. Was it listed or?
No. It was like I've been looking for a very, very long time, but I never thought that I would actually have the chance to see it. And I was like, when you guys weren't letting, because I joined late, I was doing other things. Hopped on the computer, spammed you guys to let me in the fucking thing, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna keep scrolling. And for some reason, I think my eyes have been trained. Maybe Migs and Den feel the same. So I think all three of us, our eyes have been trained to spot certain things now. And I just fast scrolled like Magic Eden as fast as possible, like, and then I was like, holy shit, something catches my eye. And then I read the fucking thing, and I'm like, yep, this is it. Bye. It was not one of those like 60 something Bera that turned into some amazing shit, but it's an item that means like a lot to me. So I'm very happy that
this was destiny again.
Oh, yeah, destiny. And the past few weeks just scrolling through these fucking traits, going insane. And that, you know what? I wasn't even like looking for, oh, I think this is gonna be a one-of-one item or something like that. I was just looking. I don't know what the fuck I was looking for, to be honest. I'm just trying to find out because there's just so much information. Like the way Janny designs things makes it very difficult for people like me to optimize, because my usually what I do is like I would get all the information ever possible to the highest degree, and then I would start sorting them in my head in terms of like priorities and stuff, right? But because Jenny, like for example, the vending machine just is loaded with so much information that it just doesn't end. And so I was just looking. Like, I think a lot of the Miberas are funny, are really cute. Some of them are really ironic because like they have the most insane shirts, and then and yeah, like, or like this hardcore tattoo with the cutest hat and stuff. It's just yeah, it's really, really, really interesting. But yeah, I probably think that I will have to send it to like an address and erase the reveal, erase the passphrase, because I don't want to. yeah, erase the seed phrase, because I don't want to. So I don't want to get rugged and have it disappear. I also don't want to like accidentally have something happen to it. So the best way to not have it be tampered with, and so I can like actually, yeah, I think I should just do something like that.
Okay, strange. But yeah, somehow I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, intense. I think it's very intense. Yeah.
Are you going on vacation anytime soon?
Next week I will be from Wednesday, only a small trip, Wednesday till Sunday, and then
the
in summer.
bridge.
Yes,
bridge.
yes.
Yeah.
So in Europe we have I don't know how it's
Assumption Day.
called. Yeah. Next Thursday it's free for everyone. But yeah, I can come online, so 5 or 10 minutes. It's not a problem. I have my laptop, so that shouldn't be a problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't know. Not many more comments. I guess like 3 hours is quite a long time.
Yeah.
Techno Shaman asks, only 500 Miberas with place of birth. I'm not sure.
Place of birth.
I guess everybody's just born on Earth.
I know it's. Oh yeah. Strange. It shows 500. Yeah.
Migs and Den, are you still alive or?
You forced me, Eileen, to do something I haven't done in many years, and that is be drinking tequila on a weekday.
You forced.
I'm not pleased at all. But through your very deep conversation and reflection on all things Mibera has drawn something out, and I'm in the process of having my 4th shot of 1942.
Oh, okay.
And the thought.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. The thought of complete physical and mental collapse has now become very real.
Cheers.
So please bear with me.
Cheers, guys. Enjoy. Yeah.
I need alcohol.
Okay, so let's wrap it up here, and we will continue. I don't know when. We will see what the documents are stating, and yeah, happy to be here, and was a good experience again. GG to you for the one-of-ones, and also for your hard work and passion, which got rewarded. So yeah, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for listening and paying attention to this stream. And yeah, wish you all the best on your Mibera journey. And now I will play the outro, the Baby Bera song. Yeah. Are You Here is writing, I'll drink for Mibera. Hope you'll drink too. So cheers for those who are drinking. And yeah, see you next time. Have a good one. See you. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Ladies on Bear Chain. Bye.
Ladies on Bear Chain.
This is the revolution. 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 Network, spirituality, artificial duality. Network, spirituality, artificial duality. Is the mantra, I'm the silent teacher. In the booth, I'm spitting fire, call me preacher. Refusal is the mantra, I'm the silent teacher. In the booth, I'm spitting fire, call me preacher. Refusal is the mantra, I'm the silent teacher. In the booth, I'm spitting fire, call me preacher. Refusal is the mantra, I'm the silent teacher. In the booth, I'm spitting fire, call me preacher. Refusal is the mantra, I'm the silent teacher. In the booth, I'm spitting fire, call me preacher. Refusal is the mantra, I'm the silent teacher.
Cybernetic cosmic hot box. Cybernetic cosmic hot.
This is the revolution. This is the revolution.